What's up, buddies? Welcome to the 148th episode of the Fake Nerd Podcast, where we're going to talk about toys coming to life and their best friends, Andy, and what they do for their children. Which movie are we talking about? You'll find out later. It's both of them. Spoilers, it's Child's Play, and it's Toy Story 4. Hey, guys, I'm Ron Leopoulos. I'm joined by my best buds in the whole world. They're not AI, and they're not voodoo witch doctors from the 80s. I'm joined by Brandon T. McClure.
Hi.
I'm joined by Ben Magnet.
Hello.
And Sparks Witty.
Hey there.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Oh, I should have said you're my favorite deputy.
You're my... There's a snake in my boot. I just been quoting Toy Story all week.
There's a secret mission in uncharted space. Let's go.
Hey, guys, we're going to talk about toys today.
Yeah, let's toy talk
Toys
today.
to life.
No.
No?
Well, technically.
Yeah.
No, I'm right.
Yeah, you are right.
Those toys are alive.
You are.
You are
My
a toy. Come on,
You
guys.
are a toy
What's
car.
the subject? There we go. Oh, man, toy cars. Speaking of sadness. What's up, guys? How was your guys' weeks? Your
Speaking
week?
of sadness?
Because
Cars
Toy Story 4 starts with sad car stuff.
Oh,
no,
come
no.
on, come on.
I thought you were talking about Cars.
I was referencing the end
No,
of
I'm talking
Cars.
about good things.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, look, Cars
Cars is
not
fine.
bad.
The first one. First
like-
and third are good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. I will actually say the first and third Cars are good.
Yeah.
I won't say they're great. I will go as far as good.
I'd say the third one's great.
Yeah. You know what?
1
Third
out of
one's pretty
3 is
good.
not
Look at that.
great.
Look at that. Changed it like that.
Three's pretty good. At the end of Cars, I'm sure I've told you before, but in the Cars they have like a screening of Pixar movies, but they're all cars.
Yeah,
That's
I've,
awesome.
I've seen it.
That's cool.
It's really good. I was talking to Ryan, not you. Anyway,
You were looking right at me. So.
because I can't turn my head to Ryan and still have.
You're not wearing a Batman suit. You could turn your head.
Well, the microphone.
No, I
Just go
know.
like this. Hey.
Hey.
I'm Batman.
Anyway,
What's up, guys?
So,
how was your guys' week?
It was great.
Great.
Yeah. How was your week? It was great.
So good.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
What was wrong with it?
What happened?
What? Oh, what's going on?
We heard a disturbance behind us. That's all. What's up, guys? Let's talk about our weeks.
Yeah,
was your
y'all
week,
look at
Sam?
me like
That's not what I said.
I am so confused.
Clap. I said his name. What's up, Sparks? Tell me about your week real quick. It's
Man, what did I do this week?
a great question. I don't know. I didn't see much. Did I?
No, I don't think we saw each other a lot.
No.
I put a whole lot of things on YouTube.
You
put a
did.
ton of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah,
Good
I
on you,
caught
man.
up. My computer's real slow, guys.
Yeah.
It took a while.
I'm sorry. I seem to recall you saying you're putting the archive up eventually.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm just being an ass.
yeah.
Hey, man.
I think I got like 7 videos out this week.
You did great, bud. I appreciate
and
you.
some of them are big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our annual was a big video file.
Yeah, for posting them on YouTube, I couldn't even keep up. So I was just like, they're all up
Yeah.
on my
you
story.
did great work, Sparks. We appreciate your work.
Yeah, Swamp Thing's further behind than I want it to be on our
Yeah.
Fake Nerds Watch.
We're going to
upload.
correct that today, though.
Yes, we will get more Fake Nerds Watch Swamp Thing up real soon.
Yeah.
For the new episode, which dropped Friday.
Yeah.
This is episode 4 that dropped Friday?
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
the show.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Almost halfway done.
Sadness.
Yeah.
Womp. Just like
Womp womp.
womp womp.
Yeah.
Drowning in a swamp womp womp.
Womp womp in the swamp.
Speaking of womp womps, wampas, I went to Galaxy's Edge again.
Ooh.
You
That was pretty good. As I
Thanks.
drink from my Star Wars.
Yeah,
Beautiful-
I had the opportunity because
beautiful man.
my girlfriend's sister had a reservation and 2 people dropped out of it, so they invited us, and we were like, oh, sure.
Nice.
So that's how that happened.
Still cool?
Yeah, still cool.
Yeah.
They've added some things
Oh, already?
since the last time I was there. So, yeah, it's pretty neat.
Cool.
It's good stuff. I don't have a lot new to say about it. I did all the positions now for the ride. That's really great.
What's that pop you're sitting next to?
That's
Oh, Rex.
DJR3X, the pilot for Star
It's
Tours.
the original pilot?
Yeah.
Now
Nice.
he's
He's
the part-
redesigned and he's the DJ at the cantina.
Hell yeah, he is.
He's currently a Funko Pop at the parks.
Wow, is it an exclusive Funko Pop for the parks? I see he's got
Yeah,
a little,
it is.
little thing. He just dropped a ton of change.
There was change under him.
that 55 cents.
Yeah, he's got an exclusive.
Oh, no.
It's exclusive pop to Galaxy's Edge. That's real cool.
I might buy that when I eventually
But you
go.
don't have to
When
be
you
in
can get there in
Galaxy's
a
Edge
year.
to get him.
Oh, that's good for
Oh,
them.
you don't?
He's in Disneyana. He's in the Star Wars Launch Bay store.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he's not just in Galaxy's Edge.
This thing is very expensive.
How much? Wait, let me see that.
He's
Funko Pops are traditionally
25.
like...
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
crap baskets.
Generally,
All
the big ones are like 25.
I mean,
30.
that's Disney exclusive pops for you. That's
And,
what they
and you
do.
know what? You'll pay for it.
But if you're an annual pass holder, then it's less.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
They got your money no matter what, though.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, but Galaxy's Edge is still cool.
Good to know.
Yeah, I actually, Ryan, you and I were only engineers when we did the ride.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can say that gunner is the most boring position.
Yeah.
And engineer is actually far more interesting because you get to hit a lot more switches. As gunner, you kind of just mash the same button.
At least with
really
engineer,
hard.
you have like a bunch of buttons.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
engineer, you have a whole lot of different things you do. And piloting I got to pilot on both sides. Piloting on the left, you control the left and right. It's very sensitive.
Is it?
Yes, it's far easier with the up and down to keep things balanced.
Okay.
So, but that was fun.
That's cool.
When is that Rise of the whatever's coming out?
No idea.
Cool.
Sometime this year.
Okay.
Fall.
Fall.
What
That's
are
the
these
official-
Fall of the First Order?
What are these designs on your shirt?
Oh, I'm wearing a Woody shirt.
Oh, are you? Oh, I see
It's
it now.
designed. It's designed like a bandana, but as a T-shirt.
Oh, is there a snake on that shirt?
Cool.
Probably.
Good.
No, I don't see one.
I just wanted to say that, guys.
I mean, there's a lot of things on this shirt.
Okay. What else? What else did you guys do this week? Ben?
You want you
I
about that?
had actually a pretty decent week. I mean,
Tell me about it.
work, but
Work.
yeah, work sucks.
work.
Yeah,
Work,
screw
work,
the place.
work.
I
work.
finally beat Cuphead.
Yeah, dude.
Fan and
yeah,
I
you did
went.
that.
We beat Cuphead. We beat the devil, and then we're like, all right, we're not gonna. It's like, hey, you want to do expert mode? I'm like, no, thank you. That took us a while to beat. And speaking of things that took me a while to beat, I finally freaking beat Spider-Man.
Yes, I saw that.
I've had that game or Sparks loaded me that game for I don't know how many months.
2018's Game of the Year. 2019. I love it.
And I finally beat the damn thing.
Check out that review in 2021.
Yeah, but still, even when I was playing, I was like, man, this is a great game. But I was like, I just have to beat it tonight. I need to beat it tonight. And as I was swinging through New York City, like a bunch of crimes were popping up while I was heading to the main objective. I'm like, I gotta ignore that. Normally I don't ignore that.
Sorry, cops.
But I gotta beat this damn game. And
I feel really bad if I ignore... Because I started replaying it just to because I'm going to start the DLC soon. I wanted to get a feel of it. But if I'm swinging around, just kind of swinging, I feel really bad to miss a crime.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, Spider-Man would never miss a crime.
That's why
How could
that's
I?
why I 100%ed no crime.
But the crime still pops
No,
up.
I know. That bums me out. I'm like, no, but I completed this.
There's 100%
Yeah.
no crime.
Not 105%. Crime never stops, though. It's New York City.
No, but that game, that is a great story.
It's a great game.
That's great
Just
game.
all around it's a great game.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to
I'm
review
very
that.
excited to play that DLC because one of my favorite, not obscure but lower level villains, Hammerhead's in it, and that's just a dude with a big head who likes running at you with his head. I'm like, that's so silly.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, there's no
Good
competition.
for a game, though.
Yeah.
Part of
Yeah.
me is kind of, because I don't own the game,
Mhm.
part of me is just waiting until the complete edition comes out. I'll just replay the whole thing over again with
Yeah.
all the DLC.
Oh, you know what? It's going to be a PS5 like remaster
Probably.
with all the
Absolutely,
DLC.
because they would have released it by now.
But
I
if they
think.
do wait for the PS5, I'm still gonna buy it because that's
Yeah.
a great game.
Yeah, I won't rebuy it.
Yeah. Speaking of great
You want
games, holy shit, guys!
What?
So this is more for me because you might appreciate this a lot. Yesterday, myself and one of my best friends, you all know Adam, right?
Adam.
I have met Adam.
Yeah. We were hanging out yesterday and we went to Frankenson's.
Great
So
place.
we were just hanging out, just looking up the booths, and I don't get paid till next week. So I'm thinking, okay, don't buy anything. Just look. You get paid next week. You can have a little fun next week, not too much, but just a little bit. So just like scope out what you want for next week and just save up and
It might not be there.
have
Ben.
fun. You're right, it might, but I'm willing to take that risk.
All right.
So we're walking through the booths, and he goes to the restroom. I'm just chilling in his one booth, and I see a game called Final Fantasy Chronicles. Now, this game is a collection for the PlayStation 1. It has Final Fantasy 4 with the appropriate title, same 16-bit graphics and a few CGI animations, but it also comes packaged with the game Chrono Trigger. And if you know what that is, that's one of Akira Toriyama's most famous games for the Super
Yeah,
Nintendo.
Chrono Trigger is dope, and that deals with time travel in such an incredible way.
Yeah.
That game's so
Why
good.
is it called Final Fantasy Chronicles? If it doesn't
Because
have a Final-
Square Enix published both games, and
Oh,
they
okay.
call it Chronicles because it's like, well, we have Final Fantasy 4 in it, but we're just gonna throw Chrono Trigger in it as a bonus. And people really only buy that collection for Chrono Trigger because Chrono Trigger is one of those games that everyone agrees it's like a universally loved game, and it's also one of the hardest to find IRL, either in a cart
in
or
real life.
or other in booths, because they had the game for like $70-$50. And this is a PlayStation 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
I got that sucker for $15.
Yeah, because it's part of a collection. It's not as like
Yeah.
as rare as like or as cool as like the original copy.
I mean, the copy itself, I mean, even the copies I've seen at other booths, they had like the black PlayStation border. Mine has the green Greatest Hits logo. I don't care.
you just want the game. Yeah.
It's complete with it has the manual inside of it. The discs are in pristine condition.
Have you played Chrono Trigger?
I have not. That's
It's got
why
a frog who's a knight.
yeah, I know. And I've been wanting
awesome.
this game for a while, and I found it for $15 I'm like, this is a goddamn steal.
It's
This is great.
yeah.
I am so freaking happy.
I'm glad you bought it and didn't steal it though.
Yeah, I bought it.
Appreciate you.
And then later on, they put an arcade in Frankincense that is actually really cool, and they have freaking Dragon's Lair.
Where? Oh, did they just put it in?
No, they've had this little area for it's kind of the
Because
area.
I went like a month or two ago and they didn't have one.
No, they just put this stuff in.
That's awesome.
Like they just expanded it with a bunch of arcade games, and they have freaking Dragon's Lair.
And I just talked about how I wanted a remake of Dragon's Lair.
And guess what? You and I could play Dragon's Lair next weekend if you want to go.
It's too much money because it's impossible.
It's,
Unless you have that game memorized, like I'm not spending. It's like $6 to beat that game.
I still want to try it.
Yeah.
I at least want to try it because I saw that. I'm like, no freaking way.
The novelty is pretty cool. I actually really do want to play it though.
Yeah, because is that truly the first a completely hand-drawn video game ever made? Because I know when Cuphead was coming out, people were all.
I think Dragon's Lair is like the first because it's not really a real game. It's an animation with just button
controls.
prompts. Yeah.
It's kind of like the first, what were the... When you were playing God of War and you were in like a fight
QuickTime
sequence,
event.
QuickTime event. It's kind of like the first QuickTime event.
It's an entire game of QuickTime events, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the thing is, it's so seamless. It doesn't have arrow prompts on the screen. It has like little things you have to pay attention to know like to go up or down or attack. It's really, really, really hard. But it's super cool that it's an animated movie. That's a video game.
Yeah.
So like
I saw.
I
I
think I
did.
have Dragon's Lair on my iPad.
Are you
100%.
serious?
Well, dude, that game
Yeah.
came out 30 years
sweet.
ago. It's on everything now.
Yeah, the cabinet was like the 20th anniversary edition, but
That's
still,
awesome.
But still, the fact that they had it, I'm like, oh man, this is dope.
I'm definitely gonna check it out next
yeah.
time I go.
And what? Oh yeah. So shout out to this one cosplayer whom I follow on Instagram, Kirachi Cosplay, Kirachi Cosplay. She does a lot of cool World of Warcraft costumes. Like her big thing is Sylvanas.
Windrunner.
Yeah, and she was putting some power metal music because you know how you could do that on your Instagram stories. And I saw this. Then I came across two bands, Powerwolf and Beast in Black. And the Beast in Black song "Cry for a Hero." I was like, well, that sounds pretty good. I'm at work the next day. I'm listening to it on YouTube. I'm like, yo, this album's freaking legit.
Yeah.
This is
What are they
great.
called?
Huh?
Beast in Black.
Beast in Black.
And what was the other one?
Powerwolf.
Powerwolf. I'll check those out.
Yeah, Beast in Black, the album I'm apparently listening to on repeat, is From Hell with Love.
Oh,
And it is.
that's not Paris.
It's a freaking banger.
As
Yeah.
most
This
of you may
is-
know, I love me some power metal.
I know. I don't know any good Powerwolf songs or albums yet, but I'm going to try and listen to those because I just been listening to Beast in Black this whole week or this whole weekend. And
I've
I'm
also
like,
been listening to a little
this
something
is-
else though.
This is freaking great. I love this. Oh yeah, Canes of Hyrule. We've been
There you
listening
go.
to that one.
Oh
too.
yeah.
So yeah, shout out to her. Thanks for giving me some more awesome power metal to listen to.
It's always nice when you find new music that you're like really into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of music that you're really into, a video game came out called
Cadence of Hyrule.
Cadence of Hyrule.
Holy shit! I
Um,
love that soundtrack, dude.
Yeah, that soundtrack is a really, really great, like lo-fi hip hop esque Zelda remix of all the different games in this like one rhythm-based battle game, and it's getting great reviews. And it's not a huge long game, so like I think we're probably gonna play it on Basement Arcade
Probably.
because like it's right at both of our alleys.
No, I was listening to the soundtrack while at work. I'm like, man,
I listened to it
this
a lot
is a
this week.
great for me. I don't know why, but I feel like this is like a great week for soundtrack for music for me because we got Canes of Hyrule. I got some 2 new power metal bands to listen to. I'm like, damn, this is some good shit.
Got Bear McCreary, La La La, in your
Oh
face.
my god,
Oh,
Baron
Sabaton released a new single this week.
What?
Yeah, speaking of power metal.
Yes.
Sabaton is for our audience who doesn't know, Sabaton is a
Swedish.
Well, yeah.
power metal band that sings exclusively about war.
Uh huh.
They have the latest song they got a new album coming out. They just released a new single for it. I think it's called Flight of the Red Baron.
Ooh.
Very good. Loved it a lot.
Ooh, the Red Baron, yeah.
It's like
All
4
right.
minutes long.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
On Friday, Neon Genesis Evangelion came to Netflix.
I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you about this.
Yes.
So I've wanted to watch Evangelion for a very long time. It's been like one of the most recommended to me animes for a long time. I'm hearing mixed things about this current Netflix dub. Should I try and track down the originals, or should I watch this new dub?
I will say specifically for you, Brandon, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. The things, real quick, the things about the dub, the new translation, it's real gross, and it takes away some homosexual tendencies from certain characters, and it removes that agency from them. So it's like, it's like a bunch of straight people saying like, we don't want any gay stuff in our show, and it's really disgusting and it's gross, and it's kind of almost ruins the fundamental love about that show from the 90s. So that's a big problem. at the same time, the rest of that show is still really, really, really good. And a couple lines that are really impactful for people, it's not going to ruin the entire show if you didn't even know about this before.
Right.
So for people like you who've never seen the show, this is still a really great version of it, and it still holds up. And I'm only 3 episodes in, and it's still like, holy shit, this is one of the best animes ever made.
Know.
Man.
Cool.
Why would they redub it? Because I thought they were just going to take the
so-
original dubbing from the 90s and put it on.
I remember when it was first announced they were going to redub it. One of the voice actors from the original was like, they didn't even ask us to redub the show.
Oh.
I don't have the answers for that, but they
Okay.
did a redub a couple years ago. And then that's the version they used instead of Netflix getting the original one that everyone loves. And you can still find that original Japanese if you want. The Japanese version, but like for people who are fresh going into this, I think it's still a good representation of it. Specifically, it is so Pacific Rim, Brandon.
Yeah.
It like in so many ways, I'm like, oh man, like you will love the show.
I really want to see it.
And it's so well made, and it is really, like, everyone talks about like how depressing it is. Like, yeah, dude, it is. It really is, and it takes it seriously. And it's like, what if giant monsters came and attacked the world? Like, yeah, man, it's gonna suck for a lot of people.
Because I was interested. I've been interested in seeing the series for a very long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when I heard that it was coming to Netflix, finally could watch the series, and then I was kind of hearing a lot of people like were not happy with this dub. So I was like, oh, I don't want to watch a bad version of it.
I don't think it's a bad version. It's not the version that it was, and that's unfortunate. But if this is the only way you can get it, that it's like free because you already have Netflix, it's way too expensive to try to get those original versions.
Sure.
Like, if you want to still watch the show, this is a really good version.
I'll check it out then.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about Evangelion. One more thing, because I'm sure I sent you guys the Shin Godzilla Evangelion crossover. Universal Studios ride event.
What a thing!
There's a GIF of it I retweeted of just Shin Godzilla headbutting one of the mechs. It's really stupid.
And
there's a Shin Ghidorah. Oh. They introduced a Shin Ghidorah.
Oh yeah, I think didn't you?
Oh yeah, they did.
Right?
Yeah, it looks kind of like molten metal.
Yeah.
Molten golden metal. This looks really cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So they're not really kaiju's in Evangelion. They're more just like space humanoid monsters because they have all weird shapes. They're not really beasts. But the design in the show is so unique, and it's like it is so very much anime. But like the angels, that's what they're called. The kaiju are called angels because they come from above.
Yeah.
And the mechs are called Evas. I'm like, that's cool. You know.
Yeah.
It's a really great show. I'm really glad it's back. That so many people. Again, it's not the show it originally was, but it's great that Netflix is bringing it out in some way.
Right.
Yeah.
Agretsuko season 2 dropped this week, and I came home and Fan was watching it. I'm like, oh god, I need to watch this.
Yeah.
And then after we were done recording Basement Arcade this week, he said, oh yeah, Evangelion's out now. I'm like, well shit, there goes my social life.
I think what's unfortunate is that a whole lot of older anime, Outlaw Star, for example, have been getting like pristine re-releases through their production companies on Blu-ray, and the original Evangelion never did, and now likely never will. And if it does, it'll be this version, which will have cleaner, more pristine animation and the remaster to it, but it's going to be this new dub, which is not what fans remember.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate.
So when I watched it as a teenager, I watched the original Japanese subtitled as it was, and I'm like, that's the thing that I remember in mind. But that was so long ago, my memory isn't great.
Outlaw Star, by the way, check that show out. That show is good.
You know what? Because I didn't hear, because this is my first time going to Evangelion.
Yeah.
I remember before I had a Hulu subscription, I was back when Hulu, you could watch anything on there. It was free, but you just had to suffer through the ads. They had Rurouni Kenshin, the anime, on there. So I was like super excited. I started watching it, and immediately I'm thinking, that's not Karu's voice, the same voice of Karu I remember.
Yeah.
And then it was just very apparent when they called Batosai, because in the show they call him Batosai the Manslayer. They call him Batosai the Slasher in this new dub. And I'm like, oh, hell no, this is bad.
Yeah.
And so go on.
No, luckily once Netflix and now Netflix and Hulu, they're both streaming Rurouni Kenshin. They have the original English dub from the 90s back. So I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's a hard place to kind of walk between. Dragon Ball Z is also a good example where like I recognize with how steeped I am in it that the English Funimation dub or even the one before it from Pioneer are not the best translations of those characters and not one for one, and they're not actually translating the characters over exactly or properly.
Yeah.
But they're what I grew up on, and so they're what I want. Regardless of the fact that, like, as an adult, I recognize that, hey, that's not really what's up, and the Japanese one would actually be more faithful to the source material if I watched it, but that's just not what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And Evangelion kind of falls in that same space where it's like, but that's what I grew up with, and so that's what I'd prefer to see.
Yeah, like I was wondering if there is didn't do any research on this, but is there a case to say that this new dub is more a more literal translation of the Japanese text?
No, because specifically, like some of the lines are about. I'm not gonna say who characters in case you guys watch it, but like it's
Right.
like the character specifically says like I love you, and like you're you're worthy of my grace, and like all this really poetic stuff. And in the English, when they change it, it's like, oh, you're cool, I like you a lot. And it's
So-
like as a friend,
Yeah.
like that. It completely fundamentally changes those characters.
Right.
But at the same time, and like I can't say at the same time because it's just not good. It's not good. But the thing that we got, it's still a good story. It's just not that version that was originally there, and
Right.
the emotions aren't there. But it's still good. It's just like, and if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that. And I'm just like, it's hard. So I also straddled the line of like, yo, man, this show's still really good, and it's not the show from 20 years ago.
I mean, like,
But, like, what are you gonna
there's a solid point of like, you know, I refused. Fullmetal Alchemist is my favorite manga that was ever made.
Yeah.
And I refused to read it even in the Shonen Jump translations. No, sorry, I refused to read it online to keep up with it. Because we weren't getting the official translations from that. It was a lot of fan edits, kind of like what happened with us with Sailor Moon the other week.
Right.
yeah.
And Fullmetal Alchemist was full of such strong dialogue, and I'm like, I need to read the best translation of this possible.
Yeah.
I can't, like, you're losing things in the characters and everything, and it's unfortunate that I think on some level that's probably happened with Evangelion on
100%,
Netflix. Like,
yeah.
I remember that series well enough that I don't know that I can watch this Netflix one personally. Just from hearing you talk about Ryan, I'm like, yeah, the like nostalgia of like what that show is will be awesome.
It's,
but
and it's still
but
it's still like well written. Like
Sure.
like it's not a complete 100%.
it's not a bastardization.
It's not a bastardization. It's still fundamentally the same thing. It's just like I think some of the character relationships up is different. It's still incredibly sad and really poignant in certain moments. Like
Sure.
I think like I understand people who completely don't even want to acknowledge this, but like I think that's kind of unfair.
No, yeah,
just a little bit.
No. But I think it's cool because it's something that's going to bring a lot of new fans to it, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
What sucks is that it's like there was something that a lot of people regarded really highly.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like if somebody put Akira out on Netflix and redubbed it.
Oh.
This is a lot like that. That holds a special place, and even if you're doing it with a lot of respect for the material and everything, you're still a sidestep away, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like
Right.
that. And it's unfortunate that we're losing that kind of piece of important history.
Yeah.
For anime development in America,
And
because Evangelion is just as influential to where anime has arrived in America as Dragon Ball Z was.
Yeah.
And the fact that like we don't have that original dub sucks.
You guys remember Big O?
I love
Oh,
Big O.
yeah.
I do.
100%.
I remember watching a single episode of Big O.
Big O.
And then I keep hearing about it on some like YouTube channels talking about like, dude, we should watch Big O. I'm like,
Tsunamis at Midnight, man. I remember.
oh man,
Hell yeah.
I want to watch Big O now.
Some of those old.
I love
animes-
Bruce Wayne, the mech operator.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he does look like Bruce Wayne.
No, like
It's
legitimately.
literally Bruce
he
Wayne.
was this rich guy who led a double life as this mech operator, but it
Oh,
was also that nobody knew it was this massive history that everyone just forgot about.
Yeah,
This,
yeah.
about this whole old world. I liked Big O a lot. That should be re-released.
Yeah, dude, I'd watch Big O again.
Yeah.
My final thing on Evangelion. So yeah, I originally watched the subtitled one. I'm watching the English dub, and it's really good. Like all the voice actors, they're not phoning it in. Like it's actual like really good voice actors, and like everyone's giving it their all. And I'm like,
Sure.
yeah, man. I'm like, I'm glad it's back in whatever capacity it's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it does provide a strong question of like how come we didn't get the. I wish there were an answer. To it is all.
Yeah, like Frank Sinatra's "Fly Me to the Moon" is like famously the end credit song.
Yes.
In Netflix Japan, it's still there, but because of American licensing, it was too expensive.
Right.
In Japan, it's a different story. With an American song, it doesn't make sense.
Oh,
No.
that's weird.
Yeah, it's super dumb.
Yeah, that's a big deal too. But
Yeah.
it is to me like that one at least I understand because of rights. But
Yeah.
like why we don't have our original cast, why we don't have our old dub, I don't see a good reason. And that's a bummer.
The last thing I did this week was watch the original Child's Play from 1988. That movie is great still. Super great, super fun. Yeah, talk about it later. The new one.
You know what I was just thinking about the other day? There's so many movies that I just kind of forget about. Like, I forgot that I saw Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, no. So that's not this. That's not. I just forgot this movie.
You just forgot.
that I don't care about. That I just forget about. You know what movie I can't get out of my head for
What?
the life of me?
What?
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Disobedience.
Oh,
Is that
Is that
the
Lesbians?
This Jewish lesbians film. I hate that movie.
is that the one where somebody spits in someone's mouth?
Yeah, Rachel Weisz spits in
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams' mouth. I can't get that out of my head. That movie is sitting where other movies would like to be. It is preventing other films from transitioning into my long-term memory.
Wow.
Huh.
I can't weigh in. I've never seen that movie.
It's so bad.
Is it?
I really didn't like it.
I wasn't even part of the conversation. I think when
The
you
first time
talked
I saw
about
it?
this the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a year or two now.
Definitely. Yeah.
But speaking of, I saw Ma and The Dead Don't Die this week. Both of them were Dead Don't Die. I will acknowledge is better than Ma, but it's not for me. I thought the trailers looked pretty funny, so I had to go to see it. But yeah, the style of the film doesn't really. It's not my kind of thing. What's the guy's name?
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. That's the one. And Bill Murray are really great together, though. They're a lot of fun.
I believe it.
Their dry sense of humor works very well together. Ma is just kind of a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, it's really too bad because Octavia Spencer is really good.
Those are some good trailers too, man.
Yeah, and you do have a sense that the film is trying to say something about bullying and about stranger danger. That's not what it is. But it is trying. It is trying to say something about bullying.
Because a random stranger just said, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll invite these random kids to my house to party and have fun and stuff."
Yeah, but she knows their parents,
Oh,
and she was friends with with their parents, and was bullied by them. Well, it's just a way that
I don't want to
doesn't make
know
any
more than
sense.
I don't know because I
Man.
will eventually watch it.
So the guy who directed Ma, like he directed The Help and Get On Up and Girl on the Train and Winter's Bone, and those were all like Oscar-winning movies.
Yeah.
And then he makes Ma. And I'm like, man, it's so weird how that just happens.
Yeah.
That's so
I
weird.
wonder how much studio interference there might have been.
But
Which-
it
it's
seems like a
Blumhouse.
small budget horror movie, right?
Yeah, it's Blumhouse.
It could have just been horror's not his thing because he hasn't made a horror movie.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Octavia Spencer makes sense why she's in it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be
Yeah.
the first time that somebody who's made good movies went to Blumhouse and made a not so good horror movie.
Who?
Isn't the guy who did Curse of La Llorona or one of those? Yeah.
Curse of La Llorona is not Blumhouse though.
Oh, well.
I don't know. The Curse of La Llorona.
Anyway, I also wanted to shout out.
Wait, how was Farkle in Ma?
Oh man, it's real weird.
Yeah, I bet.
It's really weird that is Farkle. I like the kids a lot. You know what? In Ma, I like the kids a lot.
That's
They're
good.
really believable and really, really charming. And
Good.
they make some stupid decisions that I don't quite believe, but the two leads are good.
Check every horror movie like that.
No,
out.
but there's specifically a thing that they do that contradicts a thing that they did 2 scenes prior.
Okay.
That was,
That's a bummer.
yeah, it felt to me more like bad writing than bad teenagers.
Yeah.
But I did want to shout out, I just finished a podcast called Blockbuster this week. Sparks, I think you know about Blockbuster.
I do.
Yeah. It is a podcast that is basically they're calling it a biopod instead of a biopic, a biopod. It's a narrative podcast set in 3 and 6 parts about George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and how they created the blockbuster phenomenon that we are in today. And it charts their journeys through making Jaws, making Star Wars, making Close Encounters, their relationship with John Williams, their trials and tribulations of how George Lucas had a heart attack before Star Wars even came out, how it ballooned to $11 million on a $3 million budget. It's incredible. It's really good. It's really well acted. If they ever...
Does the guy sound like George Lucas?
No, what he does is he doesn't mimic Lucas. He mimics his cadence. So I reckon it to in Doctor Who, the Peter Capaldi's last Christmas special of Doctor Who, they brought in David Bradley as the original first Doctor, and he doesn't do an impression of him, but he does mimic his cadence.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
he doesn't like mimic how he speaks. He mimics what he does, and his.
You can tell it's George Lucas.
You can tell.
Okay.
So they don't really go for mimicry. They try to mimic how Lucas was.
Gotcha.
Spielberg is more of a mimic. John Williams is more of a mimic. But they all are really well done. It sounds like an expensive production. It's completely voice acted. It feels like a film production almost, but like audio.
It's amazing what you can do on GarageBand.
Yeah, these are the guys who did the Score documentary, which is a documentary about film music. That's also really good.
No, I think I remember seeing a trailer for that.
Yeah, it's really good. If they ever wanted to do a film based on George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, you need to do it like this podcast because you can't do it any other way. This is how.
Yo, man, we
do
live
it.
in a world where I wouldn't be surprised if the podcast gets a movie made.
Yeah, and this one would be fantastic. It's really good. I highly recommend Blockbuster. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah, because when you said Blockbuster and said it was a bio thing, I thought, wait, is this like the history of Blockbuster? How it came to be? Like
No.
the store?
No, it is a biopic, but biopod.
All right.
Entertainment Weekly coined biopod instead of biopic.
All right.
Very good. Liked it a lot. I liked it so much I just blew through it. It's 6 episodes, 30 minutes each. Easy to get
that's
through.
easy. Yeah.
About 2 hours long.
Okay.
And there's little bits at the end where they talk about making the series. It's real good.
Right on.
I also wanted to touch on, finally getting caught up on my comics.
Mm-hmm.
I caught up on Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Justice League's amazing. Justice League is so good. I am freaked out by how good Justice League is. They did a 6-issue series called The Sixth Dimension, where they talk about how where Mixie Spitalik is trying to unimagine the world so that the World Forger, who was introduced in Dark Knight's Metal, can bring in a new multiverse and erase the current multiverse so that they can all be judged by the... Man, there's so much awesome cosmic shit happening at DC right now. It's incredible.
That sounds awesome.
The Justice League storyline going on right now, they just started Year of the Villain, where Lex Luthor killed himself and evolved to another plane of existence with the help of Brainiac and the creator of the universe, Perpetua, and he's trying to make the universe create a symbol of doom instead of justice, so that Perpetua can wipe out her creators, which are essentially the equivalent of the
This sounds like Secret Wars, man.
It's the Living Tribunal. It's the equivalent of the Living Tribunal from
Okay.
Marvel. Basically, what Scott Snyder has done is created he's pulled a Dan Abnett and Andy Land in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's overhauled DC Cosmic
Good.
to a point where it seems bombastic and idea driven, and ideas taking shape.
And I don't mean that negatively. I mean, this seems like a Marvel idea in the best way, where when they copy each other's ideas and use them to benefit the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly that. It is. Scott Snyder is doing something that DC has never attempted before, and it's so cool to see this series taking such big swings, just massive swings. There's so much cool stuff happening in it. I don't want to spoil the whole series, but it is probably one of the most ambitious comics I'm reading right now. I adore it. And then I caught up on Venom, which is just so good. It's still so good.
Caught up on Guardians?
Not yet. That's my next series. I leave all my comic books at my brother's place.
Talk
so
about Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. Oh my God. You
Yeah, I
guys.
can't wait. I need to finish Cullen Bunn's Venom, so I'm all caught up on Venom, and then I'll get to Guardians. And I go down series by series.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's really it. Read Justice League, guys. It's awesome.
Too many books, man.
I mean, not you. I know you. But
Yeah.
audience, read
Yeah.
Justice League.
I was reading Justice League, but I had to pull it.
Yeah, the latest sixth dimension thing. They had the Justice Lords, and they had they talked about the history of the multiverse and how there's multiple multiverses, and then they just went to the House of Heroes from Multiversity. We get a bunch of multiversity callbacks. So cool, love it so much.
I'm glad.
Other than that, I'm about to lose my job, so let's go and do our thing.
Okay. I'm glad you're really enjoying comics, man.
The comics are so good.
Yeah.
All right, so we go into our bread and butter.
Yes.
Shout out real quick to Downright Nerdy Podcast
Oh, always.
for
Always.
putting out a very entertaining post.
Oh, right. That's right.
Specifically
Yeah, they did.
targeting us.
Yeah, they did.
After
The
our annual
downfall.
came out. Yeah.
That was so cool.
That's funny.
And they also picked up Ken's book. So
Yeah.
that was
Yes,
also
they
cool.
picked up Ken's book in anticipation of our Star Wars discussion later this year.
Do.
All right, so let's get into our bread and butter.
No.
And here's your bread. And your butter.
Okay, not in my ear, thank you.
All right, then let's get into our new segment again, because shit,
Technical difficulties, man. It happens.
we recorded this whole thing. And,
well, we thought we did.
Yeah.
And it didn't record.
So
You guys missed out on
So-
the greatest conversation of your life. You're never going to know.
You'll
No,
never
you
even
don't
know what happened in this room. Weren't in the room where it happened. It's okay. Like we're just gonna go through it, and if we sound like we're breezing past it or we're a little lackluster, we apologize. But it's the second time we're talking about it today.
Yes.
Bing
Because
bong,
our
baby.
equipment decided to crap out on us.
But
Damn
we're
it.
gonna do it, and we'll
No,
see
no,
you on
no.
the other side.
No, put the blame where it deserves to be. It was not the equipment. It was me.
It was an
my blunder.
Yours was an accident.
Speaking of blunders, I hear there's a new Red Sonja director.
Oh yeah, that.
So you guys may know Bryan Singer was initially slated to direct Red Sonja. It is something that the producer of the film vehemently, what was the word I used before? Defended. That's
gross.
the one.
I didn't know that, and that's real gross.
Oh yeah, the director was like, I support
The
him.
producer, you mean?
Yeah, the producer, right? I support Bryan Singer. He's a good friend of mine. We're, innocent to prove guilty.
Super cool.
Yeah, then retracted that a month later.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said any of those things.
Put the series on hold, put the movie on hold, and they recently hired Jill Soloway, who's the creator of Amazon Prime's Transparent,
Yes,
to direct the film.
yes, and she also, I know her from before that because I haven't watched Transparent. She worked on, oh my god, I already forgot. 6 Feet Under.
6 Feet
show
Under,
about people
yeah.
working in a morgue, an HBO. It's a good show.
Yeah, I just
Yes.
found out that the creator of Gilmore Girls created Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Nice.
that makes
That
sense.
tracks.
Both well-written shows about ladies. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Red Sonja, she is not a
Conan character?
She's not a Conan
Yep,
character. She's
they
created-
lied to us. Marketing, you're a bunch of jerks.
She's created by the same character for the same writer of Conan. Arnold Schwarzenegger is top billed
Calendar.
in that original movie.
Oh, did you say Conan?
No, I said
Conan? I don't think he's hearing you
And
guys.
then the clickbait article says, "Is Conan the Barbarian going to be?"
This was years before
Dude,
clickbait, so it's so strange.
Dude, there's like a poster of Red Sonja, and then Arnold's on there, like looking kind of like Conan.
Oh.
Side note, I
Yeah.
didn't bring this up, but because you brought up clickbait, I told Brian and Ben this earlier. Brandon, did you see the article that was saying the Spider-Man spin-off films will absolutely be separate from the MCU, says Amy Pascal.
Yes.
And then if you read the quote, it's like, that's not what she said at all. She said that they're like, we have to treat them as individual films, and they have to be great on their own. And then the possibilities are endless. And I'm like, cool, thanks, headlines, for getting it totally wrong.
Thanks,
anyway,
I hate it.
I hate this.
I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about that, but
I'm just excited that I didn't want this movie to get shelved. Like, like you said earlier, Brandon, like Wonder Woman's like a really great, powerful action movie. You got Captain Marvel. Like, we need more badass action ladies. Everyone needs to kick
yeah,
ass.
you don't want it shoved away because of Bryan Singer.
Exactly.
There's
Haven't
a
people lost
market.
out on enough?
There's a market for this movie.
Yeah, it's
especially now.
It's me.
Guys, I want Bryan Singer to get charged and actually taken to court.
Yeah,
That'd be great, right? If anyone was actually held accountable in this country, that'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome, but even if he was charged, he'd probably get out on bail.
Bing bong.
Yeah.
Woo!
Sad.
July
Still
4th,
working in
baby.
Hollywood.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that line in Dark Knight, where it's like, yeah, the top guys they'll make bail, but the middle level guys they won't.
Yeah. But then
And he-
Bane will break them out.
And you said he'll still work in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers, that makes me uncomfortable. Let's move on.
Oh, boy. I'm
Did
never
he
going to
dir-
watch that.
Actually,
Third
you know
one.
what?
Jeepers Creepers?
No.
No. It's a different story.
All right.
Actually, you know what? Now there is a prevailing new mentality going into Hollywood, so perhaps he wouldn't work in Hollywood ever
Oh yeah,
again.
be
Harvey
nice.
Weinstein's not getting any work
Yeah,
done.
and
What?
isn't working. You know, the new guy who was recently charged with 8 sexual assault cases.
Oh, my God. There's another one?
Okay, fine. I'll just say Max Landis.
Oh,
that
yeah.
guy,
So,
yeah.
no, yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
yeah,
no,
you
yes.
can just drop that one.
Yes,
You
screw
can drop
guy.
that
Yeah,
one.
screw
That's-
that guy.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's
Is
not
it-
working in Hollywood ever.
Lord
again.
It's-
Lord willing,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
also should be charged.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which would be nice.
Yeah.
That's the thing is I want more of these where like there's that amount of stuff as there has been about Bryan Singer and there has been about Max Landis.
Yeah.
And if you read some of that stuff, you're like, okay, if this is legit, let's charge him. Let's actually charge him. Don't make this just court of public opinion.
Yeah.
Don't just shut him out of like the business so he can't work again. Charge him. That's a crime.
Yeah.
Charge them
Hey, guys,
for the
while we're
crimes.
talking about really gross, disgusting men, Bill Cosby tweeted on Father's Day saying, like, hey, guys, being a father is real tough. Make sure you love all your sons and your daughters. Love you. And I'm like, Bill, you're in jail.
Yeah.
How are you tweeting right now?
I
I didn't.
I saw Roxy Stride. I was like, read the room, Bill.
Yeah, read the room. Like, how did that happen? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that Max Landis, when he left Twitter, moved to Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And you follow him.
Not anymore.
So it's like,
Do I still follow him?
like,
I don't know. I haven't
Man,
seen
I got-
anything.
I got checked.
He
Do I
hasn't
follow
he hasn't
him?
posted in a while.
That's
so
why.
he
Like,
probably
yeah,
won't
as
show
soon
up.
as he pops up, I'm just going to fuck that.
Yeah,
guy.
it was
No.
insane. Like I remember when he left Twitter when the initial allegations started, and I was kind of like sitting there going like, maybe is there a way I could talk about one of his books? But then this happened. I'm like,
Yeah. Not anymore.
Frack him.
No, it sucks because you, Brandon, you got me American Alien, Superman American Alien.
Still a good
It is.
It is.
Book.
No, it sucks because I'm looking.
He's not on Instagram anymore.
Good.
Oh, good. But it sucks because once I heard the stuff about Max Landis, I'm looking at my book on my shelf. I'm like, that's such a great book. Why is it done by a shitty person?
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing.
Still got great art.
He has. Did you hear that Josh Trank was like, yeah, I kicked him off my set on Chronicle.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Josh Trank, who like destroyed his career from Fan Four Stick, was like, yeah, I wouldn't let him on set in Chronicle.
I was like,
Jesus,
that was
dude.
just a long time ago too. Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, let's
he's-
talk about better stuff than this.
Yeah.
This is gross, man.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that he's gone. By the way.
Yes. I'm glad Red Sonja is getting made.
Yeah, Red
Yeah.
Sonja, yay!
Yeah. All right, so we talked. I said we talked about before, but we did, I guess. But that's not a great segue.
It's okay.
Speaking of things we talked about before,
What's up?
The Kingsman.
Oh yeah.
And I said, like I said before, it's really strange to me. Disney announced The Kingsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so weird.
Ooh,
I'm never
that-
going to get over that. I
Ugh.
don't think.
I see like this, like those movies. They're not for me as weird. Once I see like Marvel's X-Men, that's when I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
Because that's literally 20 years of my life where that's been a separate
Well,
thing.
we're just going to watch a trailer. We watched a trailer for Ready or Not. We'll get to it later. 20th century. It's Disney.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuber is a Disney movie.
It's interesting.
Are you what?
Stuber is 20th Century Fox.
Oh shit!
We're still seeing all the Fox logos too.
I actually kind of want to see that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stuber.
that's all right.
I'll see it.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Bautista.
I am
looks just-
into the Batista time.
Yeah.
All right, so The Kingsman will be released in February 2020 with Matthew Vaughn returning to direct.
Sweet.
Hopefully Jane Goldman is writer.
Yeah.
She's the one who she's the one who made
She did the
Kingsman.
first one?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think their partnership made Kingsman really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Golden Circle wasn't bad. It was still good. It had some.
No, it is
points.
good, and I was
Gave
kind
us
of
Rocket Man.
Gave us Rocket Man,
Gave us Rocket Man.
which I still need to see. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first Kingsman, the Secret Service, is such an incredible movie that it's given me enough goodwill going into as many Kingsman properties as you want to
Yeah.
make. Unless you keep making lackluster ones.
See, it's that thing. Like, this is the test. Because, like, if this is another like okay movie, I'm like, all right, you got to get away from Kingsman because it's ruining your brand.
Yeah.
Because like you make nothing but quality
and
stuff.
that's what I'm worried about because nothing about this setup really grabs me.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like, I don't need this. I
it's-
don't know who needs this.
Although,
Yeah.
but here's my.
Well, there's
I
one
need this.
person.
do you?
I do.
Do you need it or do you just really want it?
Nah, it's gotten to need.
It's moved to need.
Well,
Wait, no,
Sparks.
no, hold on. Can you try to convince me of why?
Well, I like the Kingsman universe.
No. Try to convince me of why this movie needs to happen.
I don't know why it needs to happen. I know why I need it.
Because you like Kingsman.
I like Kingsman. I like period genre pieces. I like this cast a lot. I like Matthew Vaughn a lot.
Yeah.
Like again, like I said before, this ticks all my boxes.
Yeah. Again, like, for me, this is the one where like, all right, you really have to prove to me that like this is the reason you're taking 10 years of your life to work on.
I
a
would
franchise.
personally rather watch a Statesman spin-off film or
Yeah.
a Kingsman 2 sequel than this.
Well, you're gonna get a Kingsman 2 sequel still. It's
I
just
know,
the fourth
I know,
movie.
but I don't need this one
No,
in
I
the
know.
middle.
I know.
Now, I don't need this one, but at the same time, I'm happy that we're going to get it. I think I saw the announcement on Facebook where it had the Kings with a comma over the.
Yeah, it's called The
Kings
King's Man.
Yeah, I thought, oh, so it's a prequel, which is weird because when I normally hear stuff about prequels for some of my favorite franchises, I'm like, do we really need
Crimes
that?
of Grindelwald.
Hobbit.
Yeah, even the Hobbit.
You know, The Hobbit had goodwill going into it.
Going into it. That once we
Yeah.
got out of that tunnel, ooh
Yeah.
boy. But that's rant for another day. Kingsman, it was one of the very few prequels where I heard, oh yeah, I'd be down to watch that. I'm interested. I don't need it, but I'm interested.
So basically, we do have a synopsis here. It's called so as a collection of history's worst tyrants and criminal masterminds gather to plot a war to wipe out millions, one man must race against time to stop them. Discover the origins of the very first independent intelligence agency in The Kingsman. And supposedly it's World War One.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of with the idea of what's going
It's
on.
it's super weird that like he's still gonna make the sequel to 2, but he's making this prequel first, so it makes me think like, is this all gonna be like weirdly tied together?
I don't think so. I think he just had an idea.
Yeah.
You know, like I think with Kingsman, like I said before, he's been like energized like story wise. He likes the creative freedom the Kingsman gives him, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Like I think he just has an idea and runs with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And this is kind of the example. Of
And
that.
man, if you were given free reign to do what you want, like I'd probably say yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna roll with it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I am
I mean,
also-
I would also like a Statesman spin-off and a sequel to Kingsman 2. Like I mean, I want it all.
I just want Cowboy Channing Tatum
But
all
also-
day.
Who doesn't? But at the same time, I'm also gonna try to look this through Ryan's eyes, where it's like, hopefully it's good, because I don't want Kingsman to get stale.
Yeah.
'Cause I just don't want another Kingsman 2. That's all. Like,
Yeah.
again, it's not bad, but like,
Which is weird, 'cause
when
it's-
your quality level's so high, like, I don't want just good from you when you
Yeah.
give me great.
Hashtag justice for Lancelot. Anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
She'll come back as a zombie robot.
Oh, can we not?
That's the plot of Transformers when Optimus Prime came back.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And as Ryan pointed out the first time we talked about this, Aaron Taylor Johnson can't carry a film. I
Yeah.
am
Oh, if
convinced
he
of
is
that, and
the co-lead, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
I'm actually there for Daniel Bruhl and Charles Dance and Digimon Hansu.
Ray Fiennes.
Yeah,
man.
Ray Fiennes too. Ray Fiennes as well.
Love Ray
I-
Fiennes.
All the British.
Yeah, essentially all the British. Was Digimon Hansu British?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes?
sure.
Yes, he is.
He is for sure.
He has an accent that I cannot verify is British, but it's probably around there.
Okay,
I'm like 80% sure he's British.
I really.
everything you thought you knew about the Kingsman was wrong. Let's move on.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Digimon. Bet
all
your
right, so-
bottom dollar.
So let's move into DC Comics. We do have some. I guess both of these news bits are a little disappointing. This one is probably the saddest.
I would say one's a little more disappointing, but at the same time, it's not horrible. It makes sense.
Yeah. So DC Comics is shuttering a couple of their imprints:
Mhm.
DC Inc., DC Zoom, and Vertigo.
They're consolidating.
They're consolidating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they call it sundowning, which I thought was an interesting.
That's
term.
that's like a nice way of euthanizing. Like we're nicely killing you.
Yeah, so DC Inc., DC Zoom are really recent imprints that are being consolidated into a new imprint called DC Kids. There will be DC, which will be just their line of comics.
Yeah, your Batman, Superman's regular stuff.
All the titles that are currently in Vertigo, I don't believe anything is being canceled. I've not heard anything like that. Will be moved to either DC or the DC Black Label.
And to be fair, Vertigo doesn't have like a huge amount of titles to anyway, so like
Yeah.
I don't think any will be canceled because there's only like 5.
Yeah, Sandman. There's like 5 Sandman titles
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
Like basically, what's happening is, well, you said, ever since Karen Berger, who was the basically the head
Shepherd.
of Vertigo, she's
Yeah.
the one who created it, who got it started. She did Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, Animal Man, Sandman.
Preacher, Why the Last Man,
Preacher.
Transmetropolitan, like all these
The
books.
heyday of Vertigo was
Fable.
Karen Berger.
80s and 90s, like
It started in '93.
93. Sorry, yeah, okay, say early 90s, yeah.
So Karen Berger, when she left, DC didn't know what to do with it anymore. They had no plan, especially because Swamp Thing and Hellblazer ended up moving to the DC universe after Flashpoint. Like they just didn't know what to do anymore, and that was too bad. So, you know what? They're shuttering it. It's kind of like Ryan said, it is kind of better this way.
Because like you don't need 9 different imprints.
Yeah.
Like 3 of them do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like you have your kids books, you have your like all friendly kind of books in the middle, like your regular comics, and then you have your mature books.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's your demographics all right there.
I'd
Yeah.
rather them kill Vertigo than let it keep limping along.
Has Vertigo?
I mean, yeah. I
I'd
mean,
ra-
you brought up something that
I'd rather that Black Label hadn't even been created and that they'd seen that 7 imprints was too much.
Yeah.
Or however
because
many
that's
they
what
were
Vertigo
making,
was. It was
and
mature
just,
DC.
And just not DC Black Label, DC Vertigo.
Yeah.
Just do that and do all your Black Label
Yeah.
stuff in DC Vertigo. Why are you making this new name that frankly sounds stupid?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it does. DC Black Label is not appealing as a name.
It's
not DC
it's
Vertigo.
mature quotes. It's mature.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Sparks because DC Vertigo does have because if you put in your copy of V for Vendetta, guess what pops up in the opening credits? Vertigo.
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great comic.
But then now if they've reprinted, it's got to be DC Black Labels. Like, where the Vertigo logo go?
yeah.
Well, no, I think
It's
everything.
a silly tangent, but
I don't think they're going to rebrand past things.
probably
they don't want to
yeah.
spend the money.
No, they won't rebrand past things, but new things could now potentially wind up having the DC Black Label, and Vertigo's just better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the Vertigo name.
And
a
again,
lot
like
better
I
than
said,
Black Label.
like last round,
There's
like
a Vertigo movie coming out this year.
the
Kitchen.
kitchen, yeah.
Yeah.
Vertigo
Oh,
has the
yeah.
clout from being here since '93. Like it's got a reputation. Black Label has been around long enough, and like not all the books have been fantastic. Like there's been Batman Damned, Scott Snyder's book.
Well, there's only been
Is it
3
White?
books
Is it
out.
White Knight?
White
being
Knight was-
retroactively turned into Black Label.
Yes,
White Knight
retroactively, yeah.
and DC and the New Frontier have been retroactively turned.
Oh,
into
yeah,
Black
There's,
Label.
Frontier's
there's a
weird.
ton of older titles that are being repurposed as Black Label.
Yeah.
New Frontier is not the only one.
Yeah, no.
Watchmen
Sure is
is
a lot of Batman. in
Isn't
there.
Frank Miller's Superman book Black Label?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watchmen is now Black Label.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically like they're mature things. They're just kind of putting the Black
Yeah,
Label
yeah.
on it. But the news things are Damned, and there
That-
was one more before last night. I
I
don't
don't
know if
remember.
I thought.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
Oh well.
Yeah. Dan Didio had this to say. let me cough out my.
Go for it, Dan.
I'm not going to do it again. We're returning to a singular presentation of the DC brand that was present throughout most of our history until 1993 when we launched Vertigo, to provide an outlet for edgier material. That kind of material is now mainstream across all genres, so we thought it was the right time to bring greater clarity to the DC brand and reinforce our commitment to storytelling for all of our fans in every age group. This new system will replace the age rating we currently use out on our material. Dan Didio. Basically, he's saying that the things that Vertigo is created for, drug use, sex, alcohol use, like all that sort of things, they're mainstream now. They can be used in comic books.
Yeah, you don't. And
It's normal.
you can have things about sex and drugs. They don't have to be rated R either.
Yeah.
They can be talked about in like lighter terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a bummer.
It is a bummer. It really is. Like specifically because like we said, like it's kind of been this like limping along for the last couple of years when they relaunched it.
Yeah.
And like it only had a couple books. And I know like Sandman is a universe of 5 books, but like if like Sandman's one thing, and then you got like Lucifer.
Yeah.
And what else you got? Nothing else is out right
No,
now.
there's like the Dreaming and the.
well, that's all Sandman still.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm like its own other things. Like they don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Was Vertigo releasing books now? Because I don't.
Yes, there are Vertigo
Okay.
books out right now.
Again, like they just relaunched the Sandman universe with like 5
Yeah.
books. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But that's it.
Yeah. So they'll now be repurposed
Yeah.
into Sandman. I think is just going to be DC now. and
That's-
then-
I mean, it's a bummer that we're not using the Vertigo name.
Well,
but
the Dreaming was in Dark Knight's Metal, so like it makes sense that like Sandman
Yeah.
is just going to be incorporated.
yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, though, nothing's going away. And so if they're
No.
if they're shutting it down and then getting rid of everything, then I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
But if it's like we're just moving it to another like building essentially, then
But the problem is that when they moved Hellblazer and Swamp Thing to the main DC universe, both those books,
ended.
well, Swamp Thing and Swamp Thing fared better than Constantine, to be fair.
Swamp Thing did actually fine.
Yeah.
Constantine got the axe.
Yeah.
And Constantine got turned into a PG-13 caricature of himself.
Yeah.
He now he's more how he used to be.
But he doesn't have a title.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he's still a PG-13 Swamp Thing or Constantine.
Yeah. And Swamp Thing doesn't have a title. So like
No.
these characters, I think, fared better in Vertigo than they do in the DC universe.
Yeah, it fits better there.
But Swamp Thing did fare better. But anyway.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah. So moving on. Oh, Karen Berger actually had a quote I wanted to touch on.
Go for it, Berger.
Karen Berger tweeted out, corporate thinking and creative risk-taking don't mix. DC nixing Vertigo was a long time coming, but hey, we changed the game, and we had a blast doing it. Honored to have worked with so many incredibly talented creators and editors, and thanks to all our fab readers. Hashtag Viva Vertigo, hashtag Berger Books.
Yeah.
Berger Books is her current Dark Horse imprint.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great name, Berger Books.
Yeah.
Makes me hungry for a cheeseburger.
So yeah, moving on. Spider-Man.
Oh,
I hear he does whatever a spider can.
Marvel
Yeah.
did something stupid.
Oh, you mean their extravagant tease? I was going to tease a huge big event.
They started a countdown at 4.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Nobody.
Those rat bastards. I was so excited. Well, you were the most excited. I was like, ooh, are they going to do
again,
something?
when you start with 4, we don't think it's a countdown.
See, the Fantastic Four Spider-Man thing was the secondary theory that I saw. I always saw people being like, oh, it's like RoboCop 3 in comics. It's like Batman 66 in comics. Like, they're just going to make Spider-Man 4 in a comic book.
Yeah, Raimi's Spider-Man in a comic is like, which is a cool idea.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah.
But no, it is none of those things. 4, 3, 2, 1. Four days later, it is J.J. Abrams and Henry Abrams, his son, his 20 or 21-year-old son, nobody's sure,
With the same glasses as him.
with the same glasses.
Hey, guys,
as him.
he's JJ Jr. He cloned him for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
JJ 2.0.
Hashtag justice for Henry.
Oh, no.
They are writing a Spider-Man 5-issue limited series with Sarah Pichelli.
And it's just called Spider-Man.
Just called
So there's going
Spider-Man.
to be 2 books called Spider-Man coming out at the same time. That just called Spider-Man. That's weird.
Wait, what's the other one?
Spider-Man.
Well, you have the Amazing Spider-Man with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Isn't Miles' book just Spider-Man?
Oh no, it's Miles Morales Spider-Man.
So there's no just Spider-Man book?
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. This is it, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's even worse than I thought. JJ and his kid get the top spot. It's just Spider-Man,
Yeah.
not even a side book. Great.
Yeah. Well, The Amazing Spider-Man is supposed to be the top book.
Well,
but
I know,
yeah.
but like, when you have Spectacular or like,
Yeah.
Detective, like it's like when something's just called Batman, that's the Batman book.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Superman, like this is worse than I thought.
Yeah, so they're writing a story that's going to introduce a character called Cadaverous, which has lens flares for eyes.
Yes, it does.
That was funny.
Typical JJ.
He says the story shows Peter Parker in a way you haven't seen him before.
Everything you know is wrong.
In lens flares.
And yeah, I mean, who cares, right?
Okay, so I won't go into the huge spiel I went into last round, but I do want to talk about
No, do it.
John Layman, who wrote Detective Comics for the New 52. He writes Chew. He writes Leviathan, which is a current kaiju book. He says on Twitter, been making comics since 1995, deliver quality scripts on time and hassle-free, have 2 Eisners and 7 New York Times bestsellers, pursued Marvel work since mid-2016, and was told this year by a credible source, Marvel will not hire you. So, congrats to J.J. Abrams' kid on writing Spider-Man. And that right there is like the problem with this entire thing.
This kid is so young.
Yeah, and like it's every kid's dream to want to write a Spider-Man comic, right? So none of us here and nobody on the internet is bagging on the kid. This is just like a kid who gets to do what he wants.
This is J.J. Abrams wielding his big
This is J.J.
Hollywood
wielding
dick around saying,
his
hey,
big
make
O.
my son a comic book
And
writer,
not
please."
just that, it's Marvel responding and listening, saying, yeah, totally fine. Because John Layman continued to go, yeah, like I'm good friends with the editor-in-chief, Cebulski, and I'm friends with all the editors there. And they just say, there's no work for me there right now. That doesn't make sense. There's 1,000 characters at Marvel. You could write any character in any different way.
This kind of goes back to, I think Cebulski is kind of dropping the ball as editor-in-chief.
Man,
Oh, Cebulski pissed everybody off because when he did the One, he made a
One More Day
comment that pissed off a bunch of Spider-Man fans who
Man.
were like, wow,
Yeah.
really? F you, Cebulski.
and you got everyone remember this is the guy who pretended to be Japanese and wrote Japanese comic books.
I remember kind of like, okay, can't wait to see what Cebulski does.
Same.
Look, he got Jonathan Hickman back.
That's a huge get, and I will always
Yeah.
have some respect for that.
But everything else,
It's
what
not-
are you doing?
This whole thing is just not to bag on Henry. His name's Henry, right?
Henry,
J.
yeah.
Abrams.
Yeah, but it's like Daddy got me the biggest job ever.
It's literally the
Which is-
the biggest comic at
Which I
Marvel.
really hope, like Ryan, you were saying earlier, this could be either really, really good or it could be really, really bad. And this poor kid, because if it's really, really bad, this poor kid
Even-
is never going to write books again.
Yeah.
Even if the comic is good, this is still not good practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's good, this is still not good practice. But it's...
And listen,
And,
like
it very well
like,
may be
we-
bad, and then I'm just going to slot it right in there with the bad writers of Spider-Man.
But I'm just
boy,
don't
boy.
like.
it's still funny the second time.
Thanks.
I like it.
Glad.
Yeah, man. This like, I do kind of feel bad for this kid because like if this book is bad and it is his dream to write comics, like
It's going to come
because
down
of
on him.
JJ, it's like and like then it possibly might not be good. But if JJ is actually super involved in this and this book is really successful and good, and then Henry goes on to write comics on his own, that dude's 21. Like we all want to be writers in our own way, but like you're not a good writer when you're young. You have to get good at writing. That's why there are no famous comic book writers at 20 years old. It's just you're not good yet. So I just don't see how this is going to be a win for anybody. I like,
Right.
and I feel
If it's
I feel
bad-
bad for people who want to write Spider-Man. They see this and they feel like they're neglected. Like,
If it's bad, it comes to him.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's the one who's
and
going to
JJ still
get
gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
This is going to impact the kid's future.
Yeah.
Which is like that's kind of shit.
J.J. Abrams is still coming out with a $2 billion movie this year.
100%. And hey, at the end of the day, Henry's still the son of JJ. He can still probably
yeah,
do
he
other
can still
stuff.
do whatever he wants.
But like, I don't think this.
Oh
is,
my God! This is John Landis and Max Landis.
Kind of. Max Landis is actually a really good writer.
No, I know, I know, but like this is Max Landis doesn't have a career without John Landis.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Like this is John Landis, famous director, pushed Max Landis into being a famous writer.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, but that's not the first time that, like, you know, someone famous has pushed their family through because they're like, hey, they got talent, let them take the shot at this.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time that has happened. I think what's so aggressive about this is the fact that it's in the comic book industry where this doesn't usually happen.
The
And
talent
somebody's
pool is
just
so
come and
small.
swung along. And not only that, it's that, hey, he's writing Spider-Man. Not like, hey, he's going to write this story
He's
about...
writing Web
about-
of Spider-Man, a miniseries that's like a side story. He's writing Spider-Man #1.
Yeah. He's not writing, like, you know, Captain America. This is why it wasn't nuts when like James Monroe Iglehart got to write one issue of like the Amazing Spider-Man Friends team up or whatever it is that he's got coming out. That wasn't a big deal because that was a celebrity who went around and was talking about, I really love Spider-Man. I actually am a huge Marvel nerd, and he's written some stuff, and he's like, he pitched an idea and he got a single issue in that.
Or when R.L. Stein wrote Man Thing. It's Man Thing.
Right.
Yeah.
This is J.J. Abrams gets his son to be able to write the most famous comic character of all time.
Yeah.
In his own private series. That's nuts.
It is. And again, good for that kid. And I feel bad because there are people shitting all over that kid, and it is not his fault.
No.
Yeah.
That kid's 21. Like, we were all 21. We're all young and silly. I want our Spider-Man now.
We all wanted to be J.J. Abrams kids.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want the benefits of it.
Yeah,
no,
you
that's true.
definitely do.
I love benefits. Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on to our trailers then?
Real quick, jumping in. Are we still recording?
Yes.
Cool. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a game
Bloodstained.
that launched this week, and our friend of the podcast, Christopher Swindle, is
Oh,
the
yeah.
voice of Alfred the Alchemist in that. And that's
Yay.
awesome.
I'm
And shout outs
definitely
to him. If
gonna
you're
play
checking
that.
out that game, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You should hit him up and let him know what
That
you
was
think
a-
at Swindle Topher on Instagram.
That was a Kickstarter game almost over 2 years ago. That's
Yeah.
finally coming out.
yeah.
That's the
Thank God.
guys who did Castlevania, right?
It sure is.
Yes.
Yeah.
The game looks great.
He's very excited.
Hey,
I'm very
Konami, stop effing up.
All right. So
No,
moving
yeah.
on to our trailers, we have one that only Sparks and I saw.
Well, that's not for lack of trying.
Yeah,
The internet
it's
doesn't
not
have it.
online yet.
Yeah.
So this
apparently.
is Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Yeah, so when we went and saw Toy Story 4, not at the same theater,
Yeah.
at our respective theaters, we saw a new trailer for Dora and the Lost City of Gold, which might have turned me around on this movie.
Yeah, like a little bit.
Maybe not to the extent that I'll see it in theaters, but to an extent where I'm like, I might watch this now.
And I was wrong. It's the guy who directed both the Muppet movies, so he did direct the good one too.
Oh, got
James
it. Yeah,
Bobin.
yeah. So he was just missing Jason Segel for that second one.
Yeah,
yeah. It could be very entertaining. So the big thing about this one is that there's early in the trailer there's a flashback to Dora's childhood, and it's her with her parents, which is Michael Pena and
Yeah.
and Ava Longoria,
And
and
it's Diego's there, and it's
young Diego is there, and they're sitting in the kitchen, and she eats, and she says, this is delicioso. And then she looks right at the camera, and she says, can you say delicioso? And then the parents just stop and are staring at her.
and Michael
and
Pena just kind of looks
confused.
around like she'll grow out of it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And I was like,
That's super meta.
oh shit.
Yeah, it's really good.
We see Swiper in this one.
Is he like a realistic fox?
No.
No.
Is he a
he looks
fox?
like he's like
Okay.
he's
Oh,
like
right,
Sonic
yeah,
the
but it's-
Hedgehog fox. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the animation's not like as bad of a translation of that character. He looks like Boots translated. He
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like that translated.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it definitely made me go, oh, maybe we are just going to lean hard into the comedy and weirdness of this now being her older
Yeah.
thing, which I'm kind of into. And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe Swiper can work in this movie now. Because prior to that, I was like, I can see how Boots can work. I don't understand how Swiper can work in this movie.
Yeah.
There-
Now I'm starting to see how it could work.
There's actually like some of the comedy lands for me better in this trailer. Like, there's a bit where she's like, "The jungle is completely safe," and the guy from I forgot his name, but he was in the remake of Overboard.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, he just like runs into a tree, runs into a cobweb. He's like, this jungle is not safe. Falls down a hill. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, man. Like when the very first trailer came out, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like terrible.
No.
And then like hearing the second trailer is better, I'm like I'm okay. I'm okay with like a PG Indiana Jones, man.
And
I'll-
it actually, I watched this trailer. I was like, oh, now I know who the audience is.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know what audience you're trying to
Yeah,
gravitate to.
yeah. And it's on a point where I'm like, this isn't going to be like the greatest movie ever, but it looks like a quality.
if the reviews are good
quality
enough,
family film.
I'll see it for $4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I'm like, oh, there is a vision here.
Yes.
It's a clear intent of tone.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool to hear about a Dora the Explorer movie.
Yeah, right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to see this trailer because it's still a hard pass
And we
for me.
Yeah.
we tried to find this online.
It doesn't
we tried
exist.
really
Yeah.
hard. It's not online yet.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording, it is not online.
And you guys even saw Toy Story 4, and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you guys see it at a?
I was at an AMC when I saw it.
Oh,
When
I
I
saw
saw
mine
it,
at AMC.
That's
because
why.
when I was at Cinemark for seeing Toy Story 4 a second time, they had the old Dora trailer.
Yeah, we had the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is sucks because the trailer I saw was for Arctic Fox. And
We all
No,
we all saw
Arctic
that, too.
dogs, my man.
Arctic
Wait,
dogs.
is it dogs or foxes? I actually don't even know.
I don't.
Arctic
I don't care.
It's a
I
bad
stopped.
CGI. It's a bad CGI animated movie that I don't.
We only talk about things
I
we like.
tuned
or
the
something.
Sounds
whole
like the
thing
world
out.
made a
I tuned the
poopy.
whole movie out until the very end when Jeremy Renner was forced to say the line, "It's like the planet made a poopy."
Boy.
Wow, I can't even believe
Wow.
that the word poopy is in a movie
Quality writing right there, guys.
trailer.
Goodness gracious.
Whew.
I don't know really like butt jokes or fart jokes or those kind of things. There's only ever one that really like hit me hard. It was in Troll Hunters.
Okay.
There's one in Troll Hunters that got me hard.
Okay.
Every fart joke in Adventure Time is quality.
I don't remember it too well. I haven't seen the series in a long time.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on, Scooby-Doo and Guess Who,
Hey,
which is exclusively on Boomerang.
yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's part of what I hate. It's part of the Boomerang streaming service only. It's launching June 27th. This kind of came out
This
of
is my
nowhere.
nightmare, dude.
I'd heard rumblings that this was
Yeah.
happening, and then all of a sudden, bam, a trailer drops. It's announced. It's happening on Boomerang streaming service June 27th, and I'm
Classic.
like, this is terrible.
Classic animation style.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, they're taking the designs back. This is a double-edged sword for me because this does confirm the death of Be Cool Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
And Be Cool Scooby-Doo was fantastic. I seriously, if you're ever a fan of Scooby-Doo, you need to watch Be Cool Scooby-Doo. It is what the show can be as reinterpreted for modern audiences and like doing something different and new. And it's unfortunate that didn't get an audience because I feel like, maybe because it's a streaming service that will collect more of an audience and they're not going to worry about it so much. So I wish that had happened with Be Cool Scooby-Doo. That they had just launched it on a streaming service rather than like, hey, it's kind of on Cartoon Network and we hope people will watch it. Because a lot of people didn't even know about it. Anyway,
Yeah.
So it's the same voice cast for the gang as Be Cool Scooby-Doo had.
It's the voice cast that is synonymous with Scooby-Doo right now. It's Matthew
Right.
Lillard, Kate McCucci.
Kate McCucci, who was relatively new
Yeah.
up to Be Cool Scooby-Doo. Greg
Frank
Griffin
Welker.
as Daphne Blake and Frank Welker as
So even though
Scooby and Fred.
Be Cool's ending, it's still the same cast. So it's almost just like a new sequel
Well, it
show.
is, but like the type of show is going to
No,
be different,
I
and
get
that's
you, yeah.
and that's sad. Like that was it was an art style that I thought was inventive.
Yeah.
It was a new attack on the show that I thought was really awesome, and that's dead. And I don't know that we will now because like this is cool, but as you said, we are now going back to the older style of Scooby-Doo.
More traditional.
We're not
almost.
moving forward with it. We're going back to traditional,
Mm-hmm.
and that's cool for this series because I kind of want this series to be traditional if you're doing it. But I don't think we're going to see a modern step forward for Scooby-Doo again for a while because Be Cool failed.
Yeah.
And that bums me out hardcore.
So
that
this-
being said,
But this series is basically kind of a remake of a like Scooby-Doo All-Stars.
yes, it is basically a relaunch of that series.
Yeah.
And it's got all kinds of guests. Here's who's announced so far. Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Hell yeah.
Ricky Gervais as himself. All the celebrities are themselves.
Saya.
Halsey, Mark Hamill, Bill Nye, Chris Paul, Sia, Keenan Thompson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Penn and Teller, Jim Gaffigan, Wanda Sykes, Whoopi Goldberg, Jaleel White as Steve Urkel, Weird Al Yankovic, Ian James Corlett as Sherlock Holmes, Rachel Kimsey as Wonder Woman, and John DiMaggio as Abraham Lincoln. Based on Rachel Kimsey and Kevin Conroy as Batman and Wonder Woman, respectively, and they've already said the Flash is on there, but I don't know who. They haven't announced who is voicing him, but I'm assuming it is whoever is on Justice League Action, because Rachel Kimsey is the Wonder Woman of Justice League Action, and
Mark
so is Kevin
Hamill.
Conroy, the voice of Batman for it. So I'm
Right.
assuming everyone who's that is coming over.
And
Makes
Mark
sense.
Hamill is probably Joker.
Mark Hamill's being Mark Hamill.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it says Mark Hamill as himself. Mark Hamill is being Mark Hamill. In
Well,
an
he was Mark
episode.
Hamill in Justice League Action, so he could play
Yeah.
I mean, he very likely is going to be the Joker in the Batman episode.
Yeah.
But he is going to have an episode where he is himself.
Yeah.
It would be really cool to see Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye in the same episode, and there's no saying that isn't the case because these are just the list of guest stars, not necessarily
Yeah.
who they're showing up with.
Yeah. So it's cool. Like Scooby-Doo All-Stars was such a cool series. He met Batman. He met the Addams Family.
This Harlem
you
Globetrotters.
keep saying All-Stars. It's the new Scooby-Doo movies.
The new Scooby-Doo movie, sorry. The Harlem Globetrotters, yeah. Trotters. That series was awesome.
Yeah,
That's a lot of fun.
Don Knotts, all kinds of great things. And by the way, I don't think we ever touched on this on here, but they finally got the rights. They've released a collection this year on DVD of the new Scooby-Doo movies that is nearly complete. I think it's only missing 2 episodes that they just can't get the rights for the celebrities, but it has, I think, 8 episodes that have never been released on home video before because they never had the release rights for it. So now almost all of the new Scooby-Doo movies are coming out in an anniversary collection pack this year on DVD.
That means
Righteous.
that means the entire original Scooby-Doo series is almost complete.
Almost.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Almost.
So this is all really good news. I'm always up for more Scooby-Doo, and this looks like a series with like a lot of good creative control behind it. I'm really excited about it. Definitely, the fact that it's connecting with Justice League Action is awesome to me because I love Justice League Action. That's still great.
This is great. So the I just looked it up. The new Scooby-Doo movies. It's called the new Scooby-Doo movies, the Almost Complete Collection.
Right, exactly.
That's funny.
But yeah, so Be Cool. Scooby-Doo is dead, and that's the sad part of this news, but I'm glad
That's
that
not
there's still
cool.
stuff like this happening, that Matthew Lillard and all of them are still getting to play the cast, because they were robbed of it in this
And that movie.
animated film that they're making for theaters, and F them for that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, me too. I haven't watched Scooby-Doo in a while because my favorite is a pup named Scooby-Doo.
You would really like Be Cool Scooby-Doo, and we should watch it sometime.
Is it like a pup named Scooby-Doo almost?
It's definitely in that vein
It's more
of humor.
cartoony?
It's far more cartoony.
Then I'm into it.
My favorite joke that's ever been made in any Scooby-Doo thing ever is in it, and it's that there's an episode where they're trying to help a concert hall that's about to have a famous band play there, and the band gets scared away by ghosts, and the gang says, well, we'll figure it out. And it's like, yeah, but we need a lead for the band to play here. We need a music band. And Shaggy's like, well, we'll be the band. And everybody's like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, well, we're a band. And they're like, we're not a band. And he's like, you guys don't play instruments? I thought that's what we were. And it's like, you thought that's what we do? And he's like, why else do we drive around the country in the van? I thought we just solved mysteries on the side. I was wondering when we were going to start playing music.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
I'm into that.
That's pretty good.
So then the next trailer is Ready or Not, which is a
Here I come.
new Disney movie from
You're not wrong.
from Fox Searchlight.
So
Yeah, yeah.
weird.
I love it.
This is an independent film from Fox Searchlight. It's basically a woman marries into a very famous dynasty, or Dominion as they call them.
Dominion.
They make board games, and she has to play a game of hide and seek that turns out to be deadly.
Yes.
Well, she has to pick a game,
Oh yeah.
and the game she picks is hide and seek.
I wonder what the other games would have been, like Shoots and Ladders.
It's like a cabin in the woods scenario.
geez. Who
Yeah,
knows?
Yeah, right.
But here's the kicker, though. She has to not get caught or not be caught, because they find her in the trailer, but she has to get away
if she is caught,
until dawn.
if she is caught, she is killed.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
trying to kill her
Yeah,
as
So-
part of some ritual, and they're
So-
bad at it.
Yeah, so she lives.
And I love that they're bad at it.
Yeah, because she lives, she's fine, and I guess her husband is also he was
Perhaps,
I
maybe,
don't know.
perhaps the husband is on the side of good, or perhaps
I don't
not.
know, but just the
I've
whole-
seen You're Next.
I have
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot of your next vibes to this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
That-
was real-
that-
this was real
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, it's
No.
like a classic horror trope, but reversed.
No,
in a
it's
way.
a
Yes.
horror, but also it's like a dark comedy too.
Yeah.
because they kill the maid. When the maid's and then she
kill
gets
more
shot.
than one
It's
maid.
it's like, damn it, Sarah, you killed the maid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Does she look like she's wearing a white wedding dress? I really like it.
And that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
guy who's watching freaking YouTube videos introduce
how do you
to
use your crossbow?
Your crossbow, and they
Adam-
kill another maid, and they're like, whoops.
Adam Brody's in this.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like that guy a lot.
I'm real into this. This looks awesome.
Yeah, this looks a lot of fun.
It looks fun. It looks great. It looks like, oh man, this looks like the shittiest
I
game
want-
of
I
hide
want
and
it real
seek I ever-
bad.
Yeah,
I don't want to play.
Like dark comedies where oh, murder's funny. I'm like, man, I don't know why. I really like that kind of movie.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks really funny.
Is that Margot Robbie in this movie?
No,
Who is-
it looks a lot like her. I know.
yeah.
I don't remember. I forgot to look it up.
Okay.
I'm on it.
So, Stranger Things 3.
Yes.
So they've been releasing so many mini teases or mini clips that weren't just trailers.
Right, but this is the third trailer.
And then no, I know, but I mean, it's all I haven't liked any of those. They released just the
Her name
the pool scene
Is Samara Weaving.
oh.
Cool.
Hugo Weaving, but they released the scene at the pool with Billy, and it's all these little clips. I'm like, just show me the trailer, and this is the trailer I was waiting for, and this trailer is awesome.
This trailer's real
This trailer
good.
is really well made,
I am really excited.
and I
for
feel
Stranger
the tension.
Things.
I feel
I
things are
haven't-
ramping up.
Even the first two trailers, I wasn't quite sold on this next season.
Yeah, yeah.
The second season I liked, but it did kind of leave a bad taste on where the series could go.
Yeah.
For me, this trailer was hardcore into this.
It feels and Sparks, you can go to this. You know how Daredevil season 3 is kind of more in tune with Daredevil season 1?
Yes.
And 2 is the outlier?
Uh-huh.
That's what this season feels like to me. They're trying to go back to the really horror scientific stuff, get away from some of the stuff maybe you didn't like in season 2.
Yes.
Get away from the X-Men stuff that I thought was going to be in here. Thank God it's not. Just focus on the characters.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mad Max is in there a lot. And, like I like her a lot.
So
Looks
it
really
looks
good.
like the Mind Flayer has actually escaped into the real world.
And he speaks.
Or
he
he was,
speaks.
or he's never left.
Or he
and
never
he's
left.
possessed. He's possessed.
Billy.
He speaks because he's speaking through somebody.
Yeah.
Billy, probably.
And it's interesting
Who
because
do you think he's speaking through? Because that didn't sound like Billy to me.
Yeah.
Sounded a lot like David Harbour.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
It does.
Oh,
Mm,
shit.
Spicy.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Especially, so it's interesting, like because we saw the Mind Flayer at the end of season 2.
Big boy.
He was looking at. Through the. He was looking at
The school.
the school, but in the Upside Down.
Uh-huh.
Again, I want to be the person of the Upside Down that has to match everything to the.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they put up streamers today.
Evil streamers.
Yeah, this looks real good. I'm really
Uh-huh.
excited for this. I think the cast looks great. I think this season is gonna be a lot of fun.
I know what I'm doing
Yeah.
4th of July.
Binging.
Yeah.
Watching fireworks,
After that,
Working.
But that's at night.
eating dinner,
possibly.
When are you gonna watch?
making
Stranger
love
Things?
to your lady.
Oh, that's
possibly.
a
Possibly. God bless America.
Got him.
All right. So yeah, this looks really great. Not a
I
whole-
think we have talked about Stranger Things in the past on this podcast. We will probably fake nerds watch this one.
Oh, yeah.
And by that I mean that we'll probably not do it episode by episode. We'll probably do specials of chunks, and we'll do it with Brandon because Brandon is a fan of Stranger Things. So we'll bring Brandon on for those.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
god, it's finally happening.
Hell yeah, baby.
I've been throwing hints for years.
For years,
For
all
years.
the years.
Oh, we just need a Stranger Things 3. That's all we've been waiting for.
All right. So let's move on to our main topic.
Our mini topic.
Yes, we'll go to our mini topic first.
Yeah.
All right, before we get into our main topic, we thought we'd talk about, jive about Child's Play.
Just for a little bit.
We got to talk about Andy and his murderous dolls before we can talk about Andy and his sweet dolls.
Right.
You keep saying that, but Andy's not in Toy Story 4.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Shh. Spoilers. It's the beginning of the movie.
They
Yeah,
saw the
that's not a
trailer.
spoiler.
It was in the trailer. They know.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's also just a fun joke that 2 movies with Andy and
Yeah.
toys. That's just funny. It's a
No,
coincidence.
okay. Really weird tangent, but last night when Fan and I were on Facebook, the Durex condom company put up a ad said Andy's Toys in 1998, and then Andy's Toys now, and it was just a box of rubbers.
Oh,
Well, that's
God.
not. That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a college boy. Oh
Yeah.
no, now he's now
Yeah,
an adult.
now
adult.
he's-
Yeah.
anyway.
So a lot of
Child's
people are
Play.
running on that joke.
Yeah.
So, we won't spend a lot of time on it, but Child's Play is pretty good, I think.
Yes, I have a fondness for the original franchise, and I watched the original Child's Play last night in preparation for this, and it's exactly what you want in a remake, Brandon. It does something completely different while still being somewhat faithful to what the core of the story is. It's still about a murderous doll, but it is pretty much fundamentally a different movie.
Yeah.
And it's good. I really enjoyed almost everything about this movie, pretty much.
So Tom Holland's original horror films are 2 for 2 on that one.
Hell
'cause
yeah.
Fright Night
Yep.
and Child's Play, and both of them have been remade into new and imaginative
for-
and modernized.
Yep.
Just for the
Films.
audience, not the current actor Tom Holland.
He wasn't born yet.
There
I
was
feel
a
that
screenwriter,
was
Tom
pretty
Holland.
clear when I said his original films, Fright Night.
No, I
and
know, but
Child's
a lot of people
Play.
not know that there's currently 4 Tom Hollands in the film
Yeah.
industry.
Well,
Now they do.
not Spider-Man directed a 1980s movie called Fright Night.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. So this Child's Play is about AI. Very modern. Aubrey Plaza is like a young hot mom. She makes
Yeah,
a great
she
joke.
is.
A great joke. Like, hey, I had a really crazy Sweet 16. What are you gonna do? And like,
Yeah.
that's realistic to me, man. I totally buy
Right,
that.
It's
I get
very,
that.
extremely realistic, and also, the way that the chip gets the way that the doll malfunctions is kind of.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's
so
really
silly.
messed up.
This
It's-
movie's way sillier
It's
than I
kind
thought it
of
was
like
gonna be.
that how the toys and small soldiers go haywire.
Well,
Yeah.
that-
Except it was done with purposeful intent to
Yes.
like screw this company, screw this guy, and then the guy jumps off a roof and onto a car and kills himself.
Well,
Yep.
it's really great because the movie opens with like the Caslin, like we love children, we love toys.
Spoilers for Child's Play.
oh yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
spoilers.
Well, I mean, I guess yeah.
well,
it's
that's the
not-
first 10 minutes of the movie. So,
But anyway, it opens with like
We won't spoil a big reveal.
yeah, this really big like Caslin Entertainment, blah blah blah, and it cuts to Vietnam, and it's a sweatshop, and that's where they're building all the buddy toys.
Right, yeah.
And this dude is getting yelled at by his boss. And he's like, "You're worthless. I'm gonna put you back on the street after you build this toy. Get out of here. You're fired." And he's like, "Well, this sucks. So I'm just gonna create the Antichrist, I guess."
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, it's actually very topical. What I found was interesting. I love the practical effects on the doll.
yeah.
There's
It's a really ugly doll. And to be fair, like I thought it was gonna be almost too ugly, but then I see some of the dolls kids have today, and they're like, "Yeah, it's no different."
I thought the Buddy 2s were terrifying.
Man, those
That
teddy bear ones
bear.
don't even get me started.
I love them. They're like little werewolves.
Yeah.
Just like at that point, I'm just like, give me my sword. I'm fighting it.
What I did think that there was a unfortunate disconnect from when it was a CG doll to when it was a practical doll.
This has had an incredibly low budget, so
And
like
you can-
I
and-
cannot
yeah.
fault them at all because this movie costs a dime.
I don't fault it. It's just
You can notice it.
when you notice it. It's a little jarring.
I'm really happy like they used as practical as much as they did.
Yeah, me too.
Because like that could
Yeah,
have been
it
a real.
looked really good. Most
yeah.
of the time, it looked really good.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's really the only, and this isn't really a complaint because it's a different movie. But my only complaint really is that Chucky doesn't actually have a personality. He isn't a character. He is reacting. He's an AI. He's learning, but he is not a person who has like real conversations like Chucky has. And that's the only
like,
really thing I missed.
starts to get there at the very end.
A little bit, but
and
like
that's kind of something I like is that he evolves as an AI
Yes,
throughout the movie, and
I
I
do.
do like that a lot. He does get pretty close towards the end to feeling that way.
Yeah. Again, it didn't go completely overboard with him just like, you bitch, I'm gonna kill you. And like, because that would have been maybe a little too far for this movie. Right. But there were hints enough where I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's cute.
Like when he kills that one dude, which screw that guy.
Oh, Shane?
Yeah,
I actually
screw
really
that
like
guy.
that the first people who like the first like people who die
Are bad
deserved
people.
it.
Yeah.
But like he's like, this is for Tupac, and stabs him.
That's I never thought I'd laugh at that joke. That's
know.
hilarious. But when the guy falls and his legs break and you see both bones break,
spread
man,
skin.
that's like an effective moment, man.
That is like, ooh.
There was like some really effective like kills and like use of gore, and like there's not that many kills, but like each one like is like you feel it because like
It's well done.
It's well done, and you care about the characters or you don't care about the characters because they're such assholes.
Yeah, like Shane, because
the characters have been built up enough. Yeah,
Yeah, because we think, Shane's
Sounds like a
just
you problem.
Yeah, like Shane's just a dick boyfriend.
super spoilers for Child's Play. I just know super spoilers what Ben's about to say.
Yeah. Well, Shane's a dick.
Oh, don't spoil it.
All right,
we
fine.
want to
All right,
stay
fine.
away
I
from
won't,
a
I
lot
won't
of
spoil it,
spoilers.
but when you see Shane die, you're like, yeah, you deserve it, you dick.
Well, one of the things that I found was interesting was when Shane was like, he keeps leaving whenever I'm in the room. It's like, yeah, because you keep putting on your pants the moment he walks in.
Yeah, you're literally just like after sex workout with his mom. Like,
Yeah, you're constantly either just like watching the TV with a beer, going to the fridge to get another beer, or buttoning your pants. Like,
Or not even trying Aubrey Plaza's cookies, which look damn good, by the way. He's like, yeah, I'm not hungry.
try her
I'm going to get
cookies.
another beer.
and he felt just as much of a caricature of that kind of guy, the mom's boyfriend kind of character, while still feeling like a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they gave him just enough to make him feel like a person.
Yeah.
While he was basically just a caricature of that.
I did think that some of at the end of there's a couple of other side characters, kid side characters. I think some of them fare better than others.
Mm-hmm.
I think the girl is effective.
oh, Fallon and Pug.
Yeah, I think which one's the girl?
Fallon.
Fallon.
I think
She has an
she's-
F on her jacket.
I think she's effective.
Yeah.
She's a character, but I don't think the next two.
Her brother Pug.
Puck and Omar.
Yeah, I don't think they fare quite as well.
Yeah,
Omar was like, okay, you just showed up at the very end.
kind of just a bully character.
Yeah, but Pug, I was like, yeah, whatever.
I
Cool.
didn't.
I like Fallon a lot though, especially when they show up and she like chops the handcuffs off of Andy, and he's like, I'm gonna follow her.
This movie tonally was very interesting because like to be a really good black comedy, like you have to be really good at your craft because like riding the line between horror and comedy is really rough. And there were moments in this movie where I'm like, oh man, this is like almost like a screwball comedy right now. With when all the kids start hanging out, I'm like, oh, this is not the movie I thought it was going to be.
And so there's a lot of imagery, like they evoke a lot of Alexa imagery, a lot of Siri imagery.
Yeah.
Especially Alexa when you talk about the TV or the thermostat, or his earbud, hearing aid, which I thought was interesting. Is also a Caslin product.
Right.
It really reminded me. The closest thing I can think of is Resident Evil with the Umbrella Corporation.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, oh, this is a company that literally like runs the world. And like, oh yeah, if they run everything and something goes
Or
bad,
like if you ever actually saw what Skynet became before it broke everything,
Oh,
this
yeah,
would
yeah.
be that.
Uh-huh.
yeah, because it was the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Terminator 3.
I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna buy any devices that connect to everything. So no, I'm buying different brands. They're not connected.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about a killer doll though.
Yeah, because I'm not
Worrying
buying
about
one.
your life.
Ben will only have Amazon devices. Who are we kidding?
So, but
I mean, but that's the thing. The difference is Alexa doesn't have a doll yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yet.
a doll that can control everything.
Yeah.
That's true,
His little
but they
ET
do
finger.
have. But we are creating devices that can, like, connect to all your things, and it's like, do lights, do la la la.
I mean, half of you guys walk into your room and say, "Alexa, turn your lights on."
Yeah.
So that's already we're in a world where.
Unfortunately, first of all, the Amazon product I got was a present from my parents.
There you go.
And we have it, so why not use it?
Buddy, get over it. Anyway.
Never.
So Yeah, I think that the film always knew what it wanted to be, always executed that tone properly. It never took itself too seriously, but it did it ground itself enough.
Much like the first one, I forgot because just like the first one, like it takes like 40 minutes before anyone gets even killed. Like it actually builds your characters. You learn who these people are, and Chucky slowly. Like in this one, you slowly just there's even like the middle of the movie, like it's fun when him and Chucky are hanging out having fun. I'm like, this is charming, and then like it's sad when things go wrong.
Oh, the head.
Yes.
The Chris. That's the best part of this movie is the head stuff.
Super spoiler.
Yeah, but we don't have to go further.
I don't want to go further with
That's
it.
my favorite aspect of the movie because there's such like the dinner scene is so tense and crazy, and I'm like, I can't believe this is a thing that's happening.
Yeah, the movie always knew how to have fun, and shout outs to Brian Tyree Henry, who plays the detective in that because he's super charming. He's not given a whole lot, but he uses it all really well. He's also the voice of Jefferson Davis from Spider-Verse.
Yeah, Miles' dad.
He's really great. He's also on FX's show Atlanta.
Yep.
He's going to be in Joker later this year.
He is,
and he's going to be in Kong vs. Godzilla.
He's busy.
Oh, nice.
He's busy man, but he was great here.
Yeah, I thought again this was a relatively simple movie. Like none of the characters were like super in depth, but they're just regular people.
I thought everyone was great in this movie.
I had occasional issues with sometimes it would hit a fever pitch point where I'm like somebody should say throw the doll away here. I know Fallon does it, but it's still later than I think it would naturally.
No, I agree.
Up.
Once like violence and murder starts happening, there should be no reason to doll.
There is one particular moment where he takes him and puts him in the closet, and I'm like, that's not enough.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
you need to destroy that thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I would say that the part where it's like, hey, you killed your mom's cat, that doll needs to get turned off and smashed and tossed away.
Yeah, once the cat, I was like, all right,
and tell your mom what happened to your cat.
But it goes even further than that. There's later in the movie where Andy has a present for him on his dresser, and he's like, I'm just going to put you in the closet while I take care of this. And it's like, I don't think the closet's enough at this point, bro.
And also when he breaks the glass to get out of the cabinet, I'm like,
yo,
that's a big-ass red flag.
So
die.
Really good movie. Check it out.
I wanted to say something before we end this. You talked about how the original Child's Play took like 40 minutes. And that's the thing I appreciated about the early slasher films. Mm-hmm. They weren't what they became.
Yeah.
The slasher genre in general became a parody of itself. A lot of those films just became dumb and goofy and weird, and most of them divulged into supernatural or sci-fi.
Even the franchises that start like Friday the 13th, Nightmare, Child's Play, like all of their later sequels also just turned into that too. Yeah. After a while.
And that's they're all slasher films, and they all just became crap.
Yeah.
But what I liked about the original Halloween and the remake of not the remake, but the sequel that just came out, the 2018 film, is that brought the groundedness back to the.
It took the mysticism and stuff away.
Yeah, it brought it back to the core of a slasher film, and I feel like this Child's Play film does the same thing.
Yeah. And again, like, it was made on a shoestring budget, which is good, but at the same time, like, not that many people saw it, but it already made its budget back, but like not by much. Yeah. So like this is a first-time director. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia. There was some really striking imagery in this movie, like, and a couple shots where I'm like, wow, this is like an album cover for like a hot second. I'm like, I hope this guy goes on to do better things.
I don't think you need a sequel to this film. So if it doesn't make back its money, I'm fine.
I really enjoy this because all I knew about the Child's Play, I think I one time watched, I want to say Seed of Chucky, one of the really bad ones.
Yeah.
On like Stars or something because I had nothing else to do, and I was like, "Wow, this is dumb." And then, like, even because when Ryan, you told me what the original Child's Play was, it was like voodoo magic. A serial killer.
He transfers his soul into a
doll. Yeah, I really like how this is an AI gone bad, but it's not like, oh, I'm gonna kill everyone. It's just like, oh, I'm Andy's
trying to be the best friend.
I'm trying to be the best
misguided.
Exactly, it's misguided, and it's really, really good. It's really well, and also. You see people who normally in other films would be like innocent bystanders, but no, like the boyfriend Shane or the creepy janitor. Was that Jack Black, by the way? The janitor?
No, it looks like him, but it's not.
Definitely not Jack Black.
I have a feeling.
It does look like him. I'll give you that.
But even the janitor, who we see in like 2 scenes, and then we find out
that careful of spoilers.
But then we find out what he really does, and it's like, oh no, you deserve this. You really do.
So let's give it a rating. And move on to our main topic.
Okay.
Ryan, what do you think?
I'll give it an 8. I think this is a really solid remake, like this and Pet Sematary. Like, it goes like, man, like, you could, as long as you have people behind it who care, like, remakes aren't that bad. Yeah. Like, especially with like older franchises that people don't watch anymore.
Yeah, that's cool. That's my argument, but for like years.
Yeah.
Ben?
Oh yeah, same thing. 8. Yeah. It was good. I liked it.
Sparks?
I also give it an 8.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7, but only because slashers aren't my thing. But
Yep.
it's 7.
Oh, Mark Hamill did a great job.
Yeah, he was fun.
I just wanted to say that.
Jeez, I'm liking horror movies. No, I'm liking good horror movies. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Well, speaking of horror movies, let's get into our next film.
Toy Story 4 is not a horror movie. That is a wholesome, great
It made
family
me
film.
feel horrifyingly sad.
There you go.
Actually, this one didn't get me to cry.
All right, now full spoilers.
Who cried in this room at the end?
Full
of
spoilers for Toy Story 4. We not like Child's Play, where we danced around some spoilers. We're going to spoil the whole damn thing. So if you have not seen Toy Story 4, do not listen to the rest of this. You trust us.
Right. But before we get into it, who cried?
Oh, I was sobbing.
All
like
right.
a little bit.
Right.
I got teary. I didn't have a drop.
All right.
but I
What,
got teary.
what about you, Sparks?
I didn't cry at all the first time.
Second time you cried?
I cried hard.
I teared up, but I didn't. It wasn't like Coco where I was about to bawl my eyes out.
Coco
Okay,
made,
I didn't cry hard. I cried.
Coco made me
I was
cry.
I was like, oh, that's
No,
sad.
Toy Story 3 made me cry hard. This didn't make me cry hard, but the second time it made me cry.
there are emotions.
There
I
was
have
a
things.
moment.
The
there was a
emotions do
moment
happen. Yeah.
when I'm watching this film, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm watching the whole thing. I'm going through the whole motions, and we're getting to the end, and I'm just kind of like, whew. Okay, so I guess we're wrapping it. Whew. Oh boy, I'm okay. And it's just like all of a sudden, just like by the end of the movie, I'm a ball.
And then it's
I'm a
like,
ball of
I'm
ma-
not
of
okay
mess.
anymore. I'm not okay anymore.
Yeah, all right, so let's get into it. Sparks, you look like you're eager to jump into it.
That's a word.
Eager.
Okay, go for it.
Eager beaver.
Are we just giving first impressions? Is that what we're
first
doing right
impressions.
now?
Let's get going.
I know right off the bat that I have some kind of personal issues and biases that are making me feel certain ways about this movie. So I'll say that I think it's a really good movie, and it made me horrendously sad, and I have not recovered.
Damn dog.
Okay. Wait, the movie. Are you sad because it wasn't the movie you wanted?
Nope, that's not why.
Well, this is gonna be an interesting conversation.
All right, Ben.
No, it was great. It was a Toy Story movie that, because I know we were scared when we first heard about it, and we were like, "Ooh, is this not gonna be as good as we thought it was?" No, it was still pretty damn good. I have a few issues, let's say, but all in all, it's a great Toy Story film.
Your name is Ryan.
Hey, it's me. I'm Ryan Oleopoulos. My book club today is I really like this movie. I was talking to Sparks. Pixar for a long time was like, wow, they make nothing but quality movies, and then they started making sequels, and those sequels are good. But I would argue none of those sequels are better than the originals. I would argue the Toy Story franchise is quality consistently throughout all 4 movies. They have not made a good movie. They've made nothing but great movies. I need more time removed from this to say which order everything goes in. But I really like this movie a lot.
I'm with you. I like this movie a hell of a lot. I think all 4 Toy Story films have felt like they have had a quality unparalleled in sequels.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole franchise. Perhaps it's the distance that each one takes that allows them to
also,
develop
this had
a story.
creative problems with Rashida Jones and stuff, which put more worry in my mind.
And Lasseter.
And Lasseter, yeah, but it still turned out pretty good.
Yeah. So
Remember that the whole Bo Peep idea came from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was shocked to loving this movie as much as I did, especially with the oh crap! I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Yeah, I think that this is a great ending, and I felt the same way about Toy Story 3, and I was surprised that I not only felt that this could be seen as a standalone film, especially with how it starts, but also an ending to this 4-movie arc.
Mm-hmm.
That they were able to make a 3-movie arc into a 4-movie arc and make it seem seamless.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
No, I saw the seams on Woody.
But no,
The detail's really good in these movies.
Womp, womp,
So-
womp.
I want to talk about the beginning because I think the beginning cements this as not just a sequel but also a standalone film. The beginning kind of tricks you into thinking about what this movie is. It starts off with a rescue of RC, which I was happy to see RC back. It starts off, they're rescuing RC, they're going to get RC, and they got RC, and it's super happy, and yay, another Woody adventure successful, and then Bo Peep is being sold away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the crux of the beginning, is that they tricked you into thinking of this adventure story, and now you're sad.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
And then it's like Bo Peep's like, kids lose their toys all the time, and Woody's about to jump in that box.
That moment in that box with those two is so touching.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
He's about to jump in that box, and the second he hears Andy yell, "Mom, where's Woody?" He's like, "I can't leave."
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because he's like, you got to come back inside. Andy's going to miss you. And her thing is like, I'm not Andy's toy. And that's
and Bonnie's.
Yeah, I'm like
Molly's.
Molly's.
Molly's. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's sad. That's really sad.
Yeah,
I love
right there. I thought that was. I know, Sparks. You said earlier that you were before you saw the movie. You talked to us. You said you were bummed that it doesn't open with a.
Yes, because I saw the first, all the way up to when he comes home with Forky.
Yeah.
That was a sneak peek at the parks.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And you were bummed that it doesn't open with a child playing.
With the fantasy of child play,
Yeah.
because only because every other Toy Story film always has.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
tradition.
But I think it heightens this film to start that way. I truly do.
Don't misunderstand me and say that I think it's bad. I just some traditions I'm sad when they don't happen. That's
Sure.
all.
Yeah.
It's not me saying.
no,
It's
I
not
get
even
that.
me
Yeah, I
saying
get
this
that.
is the wrong choice.
Yeah.
I think it works for this movie. Like, I'm not upset about it. I just,
I really like the montage of like seeing Andy like, wow, good looking young Andy.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
1995 Andy.
As he's growing and playing with Buzz and Woody
Got a
and
friend
all,
in me.
all them. Yeah. There's a moment. I guess we can jump around a bit, but when they do see Bo again, Bo says, "Slinky, how is Slinky and Rex?" And he talks about all of them. But I was kind of hoping that Bo would have said, "How is like RC or the binocular?" And having that kind of moment between Bo and Woody that. Well, some toys didn't make it. In these past couple of years, we have lost some friends.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I would have thought. I thought that would have been nice. I'm not missing it.
Well, that was part of the thing. Ryan and I were talking about this. Is that why I said like, oh, they go for it like right out of the gate with Toy Story 4 when I saw that sneak peek.
Yeah.
Is because I was like, there was a moment the first time I saw it where I thought, oh, this might just be how RC got lost.
Oh,
They
yeah.
might just do that. Dang.
Yeah.
Because RC isn't in Toy Story 3, and so
Yeah.
I'm like,
RC has RC. Man, I felt the same. I was like, oh no, RC, I haven't seen you in years. RC, no, because RC was my favorite as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of emotion in that not talking car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He revs real
Oh,
sad.
when he's trying to claw, it's heartbreaking. I'm crying thinking about it.
Yeah. It's I will say I don't think this is as sad as like the beginning of Up or something, but it definitely sets a piece of like, oh yeah, they're definitely going for it.
Yo,
like
Up
immediately.
Up
yeah.
is not fair. Up's
Yeah.
not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair at all.
No, nothing is as sad as the beginning of Up.
I know. Holy shit.
Nothing ever.
The entirety of Schindler's List is not as sad. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, boy. That's a real sad movie.
That is a real sad movie.
Uh,
I've only watched parts of it too. But the opening is like, holy crap, are they gonna be able to get RC? Are they gonna be able to get him out of there? And then they do, and then Bo Peep's getting shipped away. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Emotions.
Yeah, it's. I love the scene between the two of them in the box. I think that's a really
Yeah.
powerful scene.
no, it is.
And then Woody's whole kind of existential dread of like, well, I can't do what I'm made to do, so I need to find that thing. And his thing is keeping Forky with
Sure.
Bonnie.
Right.
Like he it's the lesson he learns in Toy Story 1. Like
Like he's not the favorite anymore.
if he's not the favorite, he's got to make sure that the favorite is there. Like, because that's how he knows he's still needed, because he is the toy that keeps everyone together.
Yes.
And I like how Forky's really funny. I
Yeah,
didn't think I'd like Forky as much as I did.
fully expected like not to like Forky, just
Same
like
here.
just for whatever reason, and then like as soon as like trash, I'm trash. I'm like, oh, that's what we're going for.
Just
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
constantly runs to the trash and jumps inside of it.
That's so funny.
It's really good bits.
Like when, and then even the bit when I want to say one of my favorite scenes between Woody and Forky is when they're walking. Is like when Forky jumps out of the RV while it's moving. He's like, "I was made for soup," like the famous TV and trailer shot. But then when they're walking and Woody, the whole scene when Woody's carrying him, and then finally when Woody tells Forky the whole story about Buzz, like there's that little anecdote. He's like, "Wait, Buzz thought he was from a planet?"
Yeah, yeah.
He's like,
Thought
"Yeah." I was
Andy's
like,
room was a planet.
Yeah, Andy's room was a planet. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, he said that's so funny." He's like, "I know, right?"
That scene's great because like it starts like with like Woody just like dragging him,
Yeah.
and Forky's just like walking, and then he's just like falling over, just getting dragged,
and
walking
then,
and dragging.
And then Forky's like, "Carry me?" No.
Yeah, and then Woody ends up
He
carrying
ends up
him and
carrying
talking to him like a buddy.
It's that bonding moment.
In my screening, when you see that Woody has Bonnie's name written on the bottom of his shoe,
Which is after a really cool montage.
which is actually an awesome montage. This little girl in the audience just goes, what? Like, she didn't see Toy Story 3, so she didn't know that Bonnie gets Woody. And I was like, oh, it's like the biggest anime portrayal for that girl. Oh, no. I just thought it was really cute. I think Bonnie's super cute in this, guys. She's basically just like a little boo or whatever. She's a cute little girl.
Yeah.
But she works for me.
I think it works that she feels like a child who,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I was so attached to any toy that I had or made. Like, I was attached to rocks as a kid. Like, this was my special rock or something like that.
No, I don't blame you because I had a stick collection.
I think Bonnie is accurately portrayed in that light. And I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
She represents a different child than Andy.
Yes.
Another thing I also like is since Bonnie got Woody, Buzz, and essentially all of Andy's toys, and she still has her own. Woody is trying to like help out his crew, but Dolly is like the Woody of that group. I like the beginning where they're like, yep, whenever Mom cleans the room, she tosses it all in the closet, and then Woody's all like, oh,
Woody's
out.
like, we're not amateurs, we can handle this. Don't worry.
But then he's like trying to did what he did in Andy's room, and then Budai's like, what? Excuse me? No, trick your roll. This is Bonnie's room.
Mel Brooks is in that scene.
More than just Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
There are 4 comedy legends in the scene where Woody's stuck in the closet. They are Mel Brooks, Carol Burnett, Betty White, and Carl Reiner.
Oh,
Who was
Betty
White?
Betty White was the little chew toy called Bitey White.
Yep.
Mel Brooks was Melephant Brooks.
Great.
Carol Burnett was Cheryl Burnett. And Carl Reiner was Carl Rhinoceros.
That's awesome.
Who was the clock?
None of those 4.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great. I especially when I heard Mel Brooks, I was like, oh.
I thought that voice was familiar. I was like,
And then
why does it sound so familiar?
Woody having his
the sheriff badge,
badge taken
and
and
given
given
to
to
Jesse.
Jesse.
Well,
That was really
good
cool.
foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's real great.
Yeah.
It's sad at the beginning, though.
It's good shorthand for
Visual storytelling, baby.
for Woody and Jesse later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Forky gets made, gets lost.
Yeah, they do a really good window into like where Bonnie's at in life right now,
Yeah.
and I thought that was really effective. Boo's in her kindergarten class.
Man, I miss
Where
her.
was
You know,
she?
She's like right of center when they show the wide shot of Bonnie entering
No,
the
I
classroom.
I was more focused on the kid with the molecular.
No, I get
implant.
it. Yeah, but Boo's in there.
Damn it.
Little older, better
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
And you talked about the parents, how much you like the parents because of
yeah.
their portrayal.
So I immediately saw that the dad was wearing Chucks. He's wearing Converse, and I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be like a millennial dad, isn't it? And then they show up and they're like, wow, it's just a bunch of like 30-year-old millennial parents. Like, that's what we're gonna look like when we have kids. Like,
Oh,
like kind
wow.
of schlubbly wearing glasses. Just like, yeah, we're all like purple shirt, purple pants. We're cool, right?
Yeah.
They were like real modern parents, and I thought it was cool.
Right.
Yeah, I like the parents a lot.
My favorite stuff, honestly, is in the antique parlor, like the
yeah.
antique store with Gabby,
Gabby.
and Benson and all the ventriloquist dolls.
Oh.
I mean, Slappy from Goosebumps?
When it turns into a horror movie, I love it. It's so good that that entire sequence of just like the scary dolls, just like rah, like that was my
I
shit,
told you definitely in like the way they showed some of those pursuit scenes are a lot of Attack on Titan inspiration.
Yeah, man.
Where they
Yeah.
lead with their head
Must
and the
go
bodies
faster.
are just kind of like blah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Those are like, I really like Gabby as a
I like
villain.
I like Gabby a lot. I thought we were going to see like another Lotso, who was like basically just a villain.
Yeah.
I really liked her. She's I think my favorite Toy Story villain.
Yeah, I think so.
I would think so. Yeah, because she just wants to be loved, and then, like her book, and she sees Harmony as like the same girl from her book. I'm like, oh, that's why she wants her voice box
Yeah.
fixed.
She just wants to be good enough to be loved by.
And
by a
also
child.
kind of helped me out. This is a weird anecdote, but I always kind of wondered how toys from like the 50s with those pull string voice boxes. I always wondered how they worked because we don't have like the electronic voices we have today, like Buzz's.
Yeah.
And then when she's like, "Yeah, my record's fine. It's just the pull string and this mechanism is broken." I'm like, "Oh,
I tell ya.
I never knew that was a record inside the actual voice box."
I tell you, Woody is in damn good condition for a toy from
For
the 50s.
real.
Yes.
Although you do see some Mark, like when after the montage when Bonnie's name is on his foot, you do see some wear and tear on his shoes.
Oh
still-
no, some wear and
and-
tear.
Dude,
but still,
that was like almost
I have
60.
I have toys from less than 10 years ago that look worse than Woody.
Dude, I got a Swamp Thing from like a year ago that's got damage on it already. Like,
Oh.
Like that-
I'm just saying.
Like I said this in the first film, it's always been Woody looks almost unbelievably good from being a toy that was played with nonstop.
Is in the rain all the time.
Is in the rain all the time.
Gets like, thrown out of cars.
from the 50s.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
stepped on.
Yep.
Yeah.
His face got caved in. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he just blew it back out.
Yep. That's the most unrealistic thing.
I thought it was interesting how they animate the toys is so interesting to me. Obviously, Buzz and Woody don't generally have articulation in their hands, but they move like normal hands.
Yeah.
Whereas toys like Duke Kaboom also doesn't have circulation in his hands, but can't move his hands.
Articulation, you mean?
Yeah, articulation, but he can't move his hands.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of interesting. Like how do they decide what the divide is?
I love Duke Kaboom.
Duke Kaboom is so much fun,
and I love
He
all his little like the army dudes.
Yep.
Like
Combat Carls.
Yeah.
Which
Combat
those,
Carls.
those
Combat
make
Carl.
those
Yeah.
make a comeback because the toy that Sid blew. Thankfully, we saw this last week. The toy that Sid blew up was a Combat Carl. We have Combat Carls back.
Yeah.
But the one in the snow gear who never got a high five,
Man.
I'm like, oh.
that for me. That's the best joke in the movie.
That
So,
was so funny to me.
Combat Carl and Combat. Those are actually Combat Carl Juniors. They were established in one of the Toy Story shorts, Toy Story of Terror.
Okay.
And we met,
Toy Story: The Time Forgot also gets a cameo appearance.
yes, with the Battlesores lunchbox.
nice.
But Toy Story of Terror introduced Combat Carls with like speaking roles, and that's the same guy coming back playing the Combat Carls. Yes,
nice.
I love the hi-fi gags with them. They're
But
really
it's
good.
just like,
Real quick,
no.
that antique shop is full of people have been saying like, and I don't know them all, but the antique shop has like the most Pixar Easter egg references ever.
Oh, I believe it.
All
sure
in
it
one
would.
like area. It makes this movie have the most ever. I think that Pixar has come out and said that they reference every single one of their movies, even like Onward.
wow.
In this film.
Because I saw the only one from.
Oh, you guys didn't see Chris Pratt just hanging out in the back?
No, the only because I obviously the Luxo ball is on Forky's feet. We see that a lot. But I saw a plate with the sigil of Merida's house.
Oh,
Is the
yeah,
Luxo ball on Forky's feet? I thought that was a rainbow.
I thought it was a Luxo ball.
I'm not. I don't remember off the top of my head. The Luxo ball is in the antique shop itself, though.
Okay.
I did see that.
Yeah, but that was the plate with Merida's crest, family crest. That was the one I saw, and I could have swore I saw Mr. Incredible when they were going to the antique store.
Yeah, maybe.
Like he was just sitting on a table eating a hot dog.
I believe it.
I really like.
believe it all.
Man,
Yeah, it's just a rainbow on Forky's feet.
Never mind.
yeah, I really liked how they incorporated a lot of the things that. Oh no! What I actually want to say. I'm sorry. I'm so out of it today. The Bo and Woody relationship gives me so much. Gives so much weight to the fact that he can recognize her lamp.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so they specifically set that up. I caught it the second time I saw it, that when Woody's heading into Molly's room to go save RC, he looks down first, and it shows the lights on the floor from her lamp first, which is the same effect that he sees.
Foreshadowing.
That catches him onto her.
And we find out that they have names.
While we were, yes, Billy Goat and Gruff.
love those girls.
Yeah. While we were talking about the cameos in the antique shop, the toy that lets them into that place where they meet Duke Kaboom,
The speakeasy.
yeah,
The toy
is
speakeasy.
it's the Tin Toy from the Tin Toy
is.
short, the
Yep.
third short Pixar ever made.
Yeah.
And also in there, another one that I did know is that bald eagle that talks. That's from the Small Fry Toy Story short, where Buzz gets mixed up with a Happy Meal toy,
Oh, I remember that one.
and that's one of them.
That was the first Toy Story short, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of references, and they keep all the Toy Story canon in
really-
hard check too.
It really helped. That we talked about this last time we talked about Onward, but there's not a lot of the original Pixar creative team still at Pixar.
No.
Leon Crick, I think, was the only one that is like currently active, right? That's what we
Pete
decided.
Docter.
Pete Docter.
Leon Critch is leaving after this. Toy Story 4 was his last project he worked on. Pete Docter is now the head of the old guard. He has John Lasseter's position.
Right. So what I liked about this a lot is that everyone, that original team, came back, and I think that helped solidify this film as kind of like relevant, and you know, they know Toy Story is very important to Pixar.
Sure.
So everyone coming back to make a product that would do the first three proud was important to them, and that showed within the film. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Bo Peep's homeless.
But she
She's
loves
a
it.
lost toy.
She's a lost toy.
She's in a skunk, and it's great.
Yeah, that's
I
a
love
cool
it.
thing.
I
That's
love
an
the
RC
skunk.
car.
I love her outfit.
Yeah.
I love her outfit so much.
She's like Janet Van Dyne trapped in the.
That's
in the,
her same
in the
outfit, but
dimension.
repurposed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love her cape. I love
because
her,
it's her dress that she spins around into a cape.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
her little tape
Bandages.
Yeah, I love that her arms fall off.
Yo,
She's like, "Oh, it happens all the time."
when Woody pulled off her arm, because I was
He is
wondering,
visibly shook for a while.
yeah, because I noticed when we first saw Bo Peep how she had like when that little girl had Woody and Bo Peep staring at each other. I was like,
Oh, I'm really glad that
Yeah.
they find each other because a toy.
Yes, I love that too.
A
yeah,
character
they're
played
playing.
with them.
And then he was like, Bo, and she's like, fuck, no, don't move yet. Like, she's a battle-hardened veteran of all
Yeah,
this
dude.
stuff. But then when, like,
Sarah Connor.
But when he rips her arm off, she's like, she, like, plays a joke. I was like, it's fine. It happened years ago. We're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
And-
the
Battle
first time
damage.
that Woody and Bo are seeing each other, that they can't actually openly react about it is
Yeah.
pretty good.
I like that a lot because the way they frame the shot, you can see like Woody's like, oh shit.
Uh-huh.
I like that a lot.
Without him saying,
But
oh, shit.
without him even being able to change his face.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
What's
Ducky. I think
Ducky and Bunny.
I didn't think I'd like them as much as I did.
same?
I
Key and Peele killed it.
Yeah.
love
Listen,
Ducky and Bunny
Their
so
plan-
much in this movie.
their plan to just jump the old lady was so good.
And know that it escalated in a rule of 3 to them following her all the way
All
home,
the way home in the
and
bathroom.
rising up in her bed.
That was the best. I was laughing so much after that. I was like, that is so... Like, even Buzz is like, no, N-O. And it's just like...
And then when they get the keys, how'd you guys do it?
It was
she just set them right in front of them.
it was really
very hard,
hard.
very difficult. Almost died, so you're welcome.
I know I've seen it in a TV spot where Buzz gets just taped or zip tied to the thing, and
Ducky.
Thank you. Ducky and Bunny are just, and Ducky's like, Bunny, what are you doing? What? With these tiny legs, I can't reach him. And they're like, oh, all right, fine. Just their whole dynamic is like, I know I'm watching Key and Peele, but I'm not watching Key and Peele.
Yeah.
But this is just great, and I love them.
That reminded me, both Buzz and Woody have new phrases in this film.
Oh yeah, they do.
They have I think Woody gets like 2 new phrases and Buzz gets a ton of new
Yeah.
phrases.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. Kind
You
of give them
kind of
more.
needed to facilitate Buzz having new phrases.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
for his
they-
inner monologue.
He needs
Yeah.
to keep. So your inner
Okay.
voice, like, no, that's not what I'm
So
talking.
I know
about.
we're all super positive about this movie, but my one, I have 2 critiques, but the one that kind of got me a little more,
Not enough buzz.
was because Buzz's whole inner voice thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, Buzz, you know what a conscience is, buddy. You've been around for a while.
You-
like when he's talking
Yeah.
to Woody and Woody says, that inner voice, and Woody's like, your conscience.
He's gone
But
through
then-
3 movies of having a conscience.
Yeah, but then Buzz constantly like pushing his thing. I mean, it does have a funny gag of where he's like, "It's a secret mission." Charles Banks, "Hey, good going, inner voice." The jokes do land, but there are times where he kept pushing the damn button. I was like, dude, you know what's right. Come on.
So it actually pointed to a larger problem I had with the narrative of the film, which is that when Woody is missing, everyone turns to Buzz for what to do, and Buzz can't figure it out without hitting the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And it does imply, and I wish they had just instead set up, that there could be leadership amongst them without Woody, since by the end of the film they're without Woody.
Yep.
And that was a little like, what
They
are we?
could have
what are
set
we?
Buzz up
so
for
like
that.
what they're trying to say with Woody and Bo Peep is really clear and really strong. What they're trying to say with Buzz and everybody else doesn't really seem to have anything other than supporting that main plot.
Yeah, they're
and
very-
not building anything on its own. And that is something that bothers me in this
Yeah,
movie.
I agree.
They're not very active within the narrative of the movie. They only serve to kind of keep the RV around, which I think only
Yeah.
works once as like a comedy beat, and that's Jesse popping the tire.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that worked really well, but otherwise they just kind of sit around and
Yeah, they really wanted to focus
Reaction.
on Woody and Bo, which I think for this movie is strong, and I think it is
Uh-huh.
like the best part of the movie. Like,
But
the
at the
stuff's
same
so
time-
good.
And in many ways
but
needed.
but it does kind of have like the other characters suffer for it.
That's
a little bit.
my other critique of this movie is that the other toys that we've grown to love so much over the years are very underutilized.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that Potato Head specifically because Don Rickles, rest in
no,
peace.
but,
but
like,
all
Je-
of-
but
all of
like
them were.
Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse, Bullseye, Rex.
I
They
want to speak specifically of Rex of Jesse though, because
Yeah.
Jesse becomes the next leader.
Yeah, and
But
she
we
does.
don't really.
We don't see
How many
anything
lines
to
did she get in
develop
this
that.
movie? 5?
Well, that's the thing is she
Yeah.
gets the sheriff badge, but that doesn't mean leader. That just means like she's the sheriff now amongst that group. But that's the thing is what I'm pointing out is that the Buzz finding the inner voice thing would have worked more for me if by the end of the film Buzz has a sense of what he should do,
Yeah.
what his inner voice is, and that makes him the leader
Hell-
he can be in Woody's absence. That would at least have a narrative tone that I can get behind.
Yeah, and in Toy Story 2, Buzz is the leader. He's like, I'm going to go get Woody back. He calls the shots. He has his own.
Yeah.
He has his own space marine. He's even trying to convince his own clone with the belt. I was like, "Yo, dude, you're a toy, man."
Yeah, the thing you brought up, Ben, about like Buzz's
inner
cautious,
voice.
Yeah, like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, all of Toy Story 2 was him trying to.
Yes.
So I'm like, that kind of rings hollow for
Yeah.
just being funny.
Yes, I
I mean-
agree. It is a funny gag.
A good callback would be him going back into Spanish mode for a hot second.
That would be.
Honestly, I'm really glad they didn't touch Spanish mode.
Yeah.
You glad?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I prefer them leaving Spanish mode alone. The thing is, like, if you've watched all the Toy Story stuff, they do hit it on another short.
Okay.
And I didn't need
Okay.
more Spanish mode Buzz.
French mode.
I felt
Alright.
like that was plenty.
Chucky mode.
A problem that I have had in the past with the Toy Story films, and Toy Story 4 kind of doesn't escape it because of exactly what we're talking about, is that Buzz is robbed of having a singular identity in all of the films to an extent. Because part of Toy Story 2, he's abducted and separated from the gang, while a Buzz who still believes that he is not a toy is taking his role.
Yeah.
And then in Toy Story 3, part of the time he's turned back into factory old setting Buzz, who believes that he is not a toy, and then into Spanish mode. So I really wanted Buzz to have a singular sense of identity in this one. And again, because he never kind of does discover the inner voice thing, I can get behind the gag of him being like confused, like he's never thought about what the inner voice is, and he doesn't understand what Woody means, like he's never considered it. But I wish there had been a payoff of him figuring that out.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all the emotional payoff of their relationship together, Buzz and Woody, they spend a lot of this movie apart.
They spend a lot of all three movies after Toy Story 1 apart.
They do, yeah.
No, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish, and we do get a sense of their relationship, but the emotional payoff at the end does ring true for me, but I would have liked to have seen them work together more often. Kind of like Cap and
I was
Iron
going to
Man.
say this is the exact same scenario with Cap and Tony.
Yeah, like I liked Endgame because they were together on the same page
I had
a
the
lot of the movie.
same realization that what happens with Woody at the end is the same thing that we got with Captain America, but it hurt me more.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I don't want to talk about the ending right now. But yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Ben. I think that the Buzz inner voice thing it's not necessarily a bad gag that I wish wasn't there. I just wish it had proper handling and payoff.
I mean,
I don't feel like it does. I feel like it's more or less used as a fun gag and then a tool to make it so that Buzz doesn't go with Woody because they had to.
I do like the two when they are together. I like them together. I like their scenes together.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all in all, this is still a great movie. Like the parts I loved the most of this movie, I think, were the scenes with Woody and Bo Peep and all the other like quote unquote lost toys, like the tiny little Polly Pocket cop. What was her name?
Giggle McDimples.
Thank you,
Giggle McDimples.
I freaking
love
love
her.
I love her. Giggle McDimples, Ducky Bunny, Duke Kaboom.
When
all
they're
the new toys are great.
Yeah.
when they're throwing toys at people at the credits sequence.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah, all the new toys are great. Let's talk about Duke Kaboom a bit.
Keanu Reeves,
Okay.
hell yes.
What? Renault?
Rajan.
Rajan. No, Rajan.
Why,
His flashback with like his sad French kid, man. What?
I love the way they do because of how he is as a posable toy when he's saying no, and he's just constantly like turning different parts of his body on each no, just no way.
He's just always
Never.
moving.
Decline.
Yeah.
Rejected.
I thought I wasn't sure Keanu. I think under a it's kind of like what's his name, Latin Poe Dameron.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. It's kind of like Oscar Isaac. Given a good voice director, I think he's a good voice actor. I think Keanu had a really good voice director on this one and was able to actually be a good voice actor. And he's a lot of fun. It really comes out of Duke Kaboom.
Yes.
Really makes that character his own.
He's like, do what you're good at. You're not good at landing. You're great at crashing.
Yeah.
And you're like, crash us to victory, Kaboom. Like,
And he's like,
yes, I Canada.
And he's like,
Yes, I can.
I'm gonna start saying that from
That's
now on.
really
And
good.
when when she's trying to build him up, Bo Peep, and the first time it's like, who's the Canuck? Something, and then he's just like, kaboom. He's just unsure, but he's like, it's me.
Yeah.
Kaboom.
Or when he's just like, when he starts, wait, I can't do this. I'm not good at this sort of thing. I can't. When he's the at the fair when
The Ferris wheel?
makes the giant jump
With his eyes closed.
Yeah, it's like I can make this jump with my eyes closed.
So wait, what? 1, 2, 3, go!
And then he does it. And then he hits his head, but then he's like, kaboom. I'm like, oh, that's so great.
It was good.
I thought something really bad was going to happen.
I thought the first time I saw it, I thought he was decapitated.
Yeah,
in that
me
moment.
too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh dang.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. He's like, nope. He's just like kaboom.
But as we know from Sid's room, it doesn't matter if they're decapitated.
Yeah.
Decapitated.
Yeah, they'll still
fine.
be okay.
So I want to talk about the ending.
Let's talk. Well, can we before we
Aren't there
get there?
still things to flesh out before that?
Let's see.
I want to say like the whole scene with Gabby, or
Yeah,
her
everything
scenes.
leading up to Gabby
like
separation.
the high scene with Gabby, like when when Buzz is finally there, Ducky and Bunny are there, their whole thing, and then finally they look out, they're like, oh, I've dealt with Cat before, not that one, and you see like the torn up toy, but then you see him again in the pinball machine, which I thought was great.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, you mess with the dragon.
Yeah, the cat.
But I love how Gabby isn't like a Lotso, because I was a little nervous that we're gonna get another Lotso bear or another prospector.
Yeah.
But she just wants to be loved, and then Woody gives up his voice box, and you still see his stitching and his pull string is gone throughout the rest of the movie, which great attention to detail. But then when she finally gets what she wants, and then her
Heartbreaking.
whole, I felt for her, because the second I see her, she's being pushed around by those dummies. I'm like, oh, you're a bad guy. You got
as soon as she stood up, I'm like, oh, this is definitely the bad guy,
Yeah.
right? Come on.
The way the Bensons come out of the shadows.
And they're just like
They're
so
that-
creepy.
Just like very like, get my sword. I'm fine. It's like that meme was like, Moon's haunting. What? Loads pistol, gets a
Oh,
spaceship.
yeah.
Moon's haunted.
It's haunted.
It's like it's when she is tossed aside by Haley.
Harmony.
Heartbreaking.
Where
Yeah.
she's like, I found this doll. Oh, and the sweet grandma. She's
You
like,
can take it
oh,
if you
you
want."
want it? Nah, toss. And she
So
is
bad.
broke. And then she finds the lost kid.
Yeah.
That whole scene is like,
That's great, dude.
That started to get to me.
that's like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, God damn, Pixar, you did it again.
Yeah.
They really brought some depth to their
Yeah.
villain. It wasn't a villain.
No.
Yeah.
She just
was-
wanted a goal.
You
She
know
was
what
an
she was?
antagonist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She
There
was
you
an
go.
antagonist, not the villain.
I wanted to mention way back when we were talking about Forky, I really like the way that Forky figures out that he's important to Bonnie.
Oh, how
And
he's
it's
like trash.
Bonnie is my trash.
I'm her trash.
Yeah.
I'm her trash. I get it.
Yeah.
I really like the way that comes around, and he completely dedicates to it because he understands.
All of
and it just had to
Forky's
correlate
scenes-
properly.
All of Forky's scenes made me hysterical.
Yeah.
Like, even when the dad was trying to get back to the RV, he kept hitting the lock
The,
button.
the whole
Oh,
montage
yeah.
of Forky trying to escape to Randy
Oh.
Newman's "I can't let you throw yourself
Or
away."
like Bonnie's asleep and and Woody is just staying in the trash can, just throwing Forky back up on the bed
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he just wants to be
or
in that
even
trash can.
when Bonnie's asleep in the RV and they're like, "You think we should get her a fork?" And Buzz is like, "No, spoon is safer. You know this."
Yeah.
Yeah. Forky's a lot of fun. So let's talk about the end.
Nope, still not at the end yet. I want to talk about the dad and the mom being dragged back to the RV by the toys, and the unicorn who's just like,
Buttercup?
"Dad's totally going to
Oh,
jail."
Why does Buttercup want Dad to go to jail so bad?
He's really into that plan.
It's for anyone to go to jail.
That poor family. What's happening to them?
We framed Dad so he could go to jail.
It's rough, man.
Like, we're not framing Dad to go to jail.
Your backpack's at the antique store. Let's go.
My backpack, and they're like, you could tell that the parents are like really clearly exasperated. Like when
But they're still sweet, nice
I mean, like
parents.
the flat tire. Like the dad's like, and then mom's like, "Okay, Dad's going to say some words. Let's
Yep.
go check out the carnival."
I want to talk about the scene after they botch the rescue of Forky, and they're pulled outside, and Bunny is torn up, and the sheep were damaged because of Woody.
I was so scared that the sheep were going to shatter when
And-
they fall. I
yeah,
love my
and so
girls.
Bo Peep challenging Woody's position on everything.
Uh-huh.
That's a strong. Good
It is, yeah,
moment.
because you know there's got to be some drama somewhere. And you're just waiting
Yeah.
for it, and I'm like, when they do start fighting, I'm like, no, guys.
And he says
You've been
it's
working
called
t-
loyalty, not something a lost toy would
Yeah,
understand.
that's the line where I'm like, oh,
and he
Woody.
immediately regrets it.
We,
Yeah.
we had a drunk dad that was in our second
He-
screening, and he
You
was
told-
really invested. And so when that happened, he was like, "Oh, damn!"
No, actually, there was a dad at my screening way up at the top when right before Bo gets taken away, he's yelling, "Kiss her!"
yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, when Woody says something a lost toy wouldn't understand, and you see his face change immediately to regret.
Yes.
that was really strong.
So good.
Another like hitting on that Woody and Buzz separation point, which is part of a thing for me in this film, is when Woody says, "I don't leave a toy behind," and he leaves Buzz behind
Yeah,
and doesn't
Yeah.
And Buzz is
bring
just
him
like,
along. And
"You
it's
just left him
it's a
behind."
moment that doesn't ring as true to the franchise as as I think they want it to.
Yeah, I
it
can see
doesn't
that.
feel
Yeah.
natural. It feels forced.
And doesn't Buzz also says like, dude, you just left me behind.
Yeah,
and,
and again,
then Buzz's
like,
inner voice forces him back to the RV, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this feels. I
Again,
feel the hand of the writers
It's- yeah.
forcing this separation
Mhm.
because they need to, and not because this is actually what should happen between these
they
characters.
didn't find a natural way to like we need Bo Peep and Woody to be together, so we're just forcing everyone out and like not in a good way.
They tried to kind of make it make sense with how Woody is so obsessed with making Bonnie happy that
Yes.
he will go for Forky no matter what.
I know
Yeah.
that's there, but I mean, it's the twofold of Woody just ignoring Buzz entirely, like not listening to him even for a moment when he's bringing up Bonnie's backpack or anything,
Mhm.
and the fact that Buzz's inner voice forces him away from Woody. That's like this feels really narratively pushed,
yeah.
in a way that doesn't feel natural to these characters,
Yeah.
and that irks me a little. But otherwise,
Yeah.
I like that scene.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key turning back as Ducky, just going, "You crazy,
Yeah.
you
No,
crazy."
Or when
I-
he thought that Bunny was dead.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised that those two characters stayed attached to each other, sewn together by hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would happen because nothing in the marketing had shown that. That was
they
the
were
case, and
sewn
so I was
together.
surprised.
I thought.
Yeah, they were never apart.
That's
Oh.
Ducky and Bunny. Their
hands
Bunny's
are-
right hand is sewn to Ducky's left.
I never knew. I thought because I swore that I saw them like
No,
apart.
they
Nope.
never separate.
They are never separated.
I guess I need to see.
Does
this
that
movie.
mean the toys are also connected? Like
Mm.
like when you if
No.
you go to the toy
No.
store,
No.
No, they're just like
they're separated.
sewed by their hands. Yeah, they like two seams or something.
I'm saying, give me the two toys for the price of one at Toys R Us. Just saying.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh, Toys R Us is coming back.
what?
Yeah,
Toys R Us
thank you,
is
Toy Story 4.
We don't have time to. Get into
Yeah,
that
we'll
right
talk
now.
about that later.
Um,
one of the jokes that just landed for me so hard was the Ducky and Bunny. Like when they're walking with Bo Peep and the sheep turn around. They're
Yes,
like,
I was
"Oh
about
my-
to literally bring this up. Go
Oh
ahead.
my maker! It has 3 heads.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when they go to the merry-go-round the
Staring
first time,
into my soul, I'm gonna have nightmares.
yeah. And then when they go to the merry-go-round and you see the can't get squished, and Bunny's like, "Oh, stuff that."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or when they
they-
still go and they get taken around.
yeah. And I'm just like, this. They have. I just love those two. I think them and Duke Kaboom are my 2 favorite new toys.
Yeah.
They're
Actually,
a great
no.
addition.
Dimples is my favorite. I love her as well.
Yeah.
Like when Bo Peep's talking about the cowboy, she's
Oh, is
she's
that the
like
cowboy?
she's like running to Woody. She's like, you gotta love him for it, and she's like, what? No, what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I love Buzz's whole action sequence when he leaps out of the RV and they're playing his classic opening music from the beginning of Toy Story 2 as action music.
Yeah.
And he's
I
flying
really enjoy
for a
that.
second.
And he's flying for the moment, and then he gets hit with the ride and everything. I thought that was really awesome. And
Again, Buzz, super sturdy toy.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, made of plastic, so fantastic.
yeah. And I love when Buzz catches up and he's like, "Woody, look, it's Bo Peep."
Yeah.
Like he didn't even know.
yeah, like Woody wouldn't have known. He wasn't just
Or
standing
even when
there.
Bo Peep, she's like, Buzz? And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, oh yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
still
Buzz
got
is still
Buzz.
there.
And then he's like, Bo Peep. And she's like, oh, there's my old moving buddy. He's like, Woody, it's Bo Peep.
Nice
Holy
callback to the first Toy Story.
Yes.
Very nice callback.
I like that a lot. I'm glad I saw the first Toy Story, or else I wouldn't have caught that.
Yeah, there were a lot of references to all of them, having watched all 3 before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see 2 and 3
Yeah.
before this one.
Oh, another thing, another tradition super missing from this one. No Star Wars reference.
Is there a Star Wars reference in each one?
Yes, in
No,
Toy
they-
Story 1, there's the breathing sound,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole Zurg's plan is the Star Wars plan to
The Death Star?
yeah
in
the
Toy
whole
Story
Death
1?
Star plan.
Hmm.
I have the plans to that weapon's only weakness. That whole thing is a Star Wars reference. In Toy Story 2, Zurg himself is a reference to Vader, the I'm your father, all that stuff. In Toy Story 3, Lotso is picked up by Baby and thrown into the dumpster, a la Vader picking up Palpatine.
Oh.
They have been very clear that they have always made Star Wars
Actually, I
references
think
like
there
that.
was, because Ducky said something about Galaxy Far, Far Away.
When he's
kicking-
called
when he's kicking Buzz's head, he's like, Galaxy Far, Far Away.
Oh,
Oh.
a galaxy far, far from my foot. Yes, that is a small Star Wars reference, but I'm talking about like thematic
Kick. Oh, okay.
placement of material
Gotcha.
that made it intrinsic, because they went 4, 5, and 6 with 1 through 3, and I don't know what they would have done for 4, but there isn't one
Rogue One.
that is as direct as those 3. So it's surprising.
generous. I was in this
Interesting.
movie.
Now, can we talk about the ending?
Yeah, now we can talk about the ending.
Yeah, what's the
So I
problem
wanna
with it?
talk about your... You sound like you have an issue with the ending.
I don't have.
Let's just talk about it. We don't have to make it dramatic.
I
Let's
don't
just
have
talk
like
about
an
it.
issue. So
I just want to talk
it's-
about it.
Yeah.
So
What's
the
going on?
ending is... well, I just wanted to get his thoughts so we could talk about it.
Oh yeah.
So the ending sees Woody stay with Bo Peep on the carnival, and the other toys leave on the road trip, and Woody lives his rest of his life with Bo. I really like it. I think it's really good thematic ending for the arc that Woody had in this film specifically, and I was sobbing like a baby, especially when Buzz says she'll be okay, and Woody thinks he means Bo, but then
Bonnie.
no, Bonnie will be okay. I thought that was really great.
Yeah,
I really like the ending myself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Is that we're not gonna?
No, I'm waiting for Sparks to tell me what his I want to hear what his thoughts are because we all like it. I just want to know what's up.
It's not that I don't like it. Like this is why I opened it up with saying that I have some personal hang up or something.
I just want to hear what it is.
It's not like an issue. It's that I mean, like I have an issue in the sense that like it goes back to the same thing with the Buzz and Woody stuff. I just don't think like that relationship is given its amount of due for the fact that they're separating at the end of this film. In this film, that they're just not together enough, and I wish that was more well established. I also think that if Toy Story 3 didn't end with the fake out about college where all the toys get into the box and they each have a moment saying goodbye to Woody because they think he's going to college and they're going to the attic, but then they all end up with Bonnie, then they would have allowed the toys to have a more sincere and like moment with Woody. Instead, they all kind of get a group hug with him.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish at least some of them were speaking in that moment and saying things to Woody, especially like Slinky Dog, who's been one of Woody's best friends for a long time. And that's just not there, and it makes some of that separation of those toys ring a little hollow, but that's critique, but not
no, I can agree
ruining
with
the film.
I
like the whole narrative arc of it and everything. I understand the intent of it and everything. It's all of that, like that kind of separation that I fundamentally come away from this with a problem personally, though I think the film is good, that my imagination has to live with a reality where Buzz and Woody are not together anymore.
Yeah.
That hurt me in a way I didn't think it would. This is why I'm saying it's a personal thing.
Yeah, no, I get it, yeah.
I didn't think that would bother me as much as it does. And I don't know that, like, more time given to their relationship would have made me feel better about it. The first time I saw it, I didn't cry because I just kind of sat there in it for a while. And I talked with my girlfriend about it all the way home, and I'm like, I'm just really sad. And I've been sad for days, and I saw it a second time, and I more prepared for it, and it made me cry. And
that shows an effective product, then, right?
Yes, and like this is not the same kind of like emotions that you get at the end of Toy Story 3, where it is like that. And again, I'm acknowledging this isn't on the movie. This is I can't get over some kind of hurdle here where it has unlocked something where I am deeply sad, probably about something in my own life that the film has made me think too much about, and I am just now very sad.
Yeah, I totally
a lot, and that's just what's happened. But it does, at its core, on some level, bother me that I have to know that Woody and Buzz are not together forever.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do like that they get a goodbye, and when they say. When to infinity and then Woody finishes and beyond, I thought that was really effective.
That's what got me. That was like, oh shit, that's good stuff right there.
Well, because the whole time I'm watching this Toy Story movie, I'm thinking it's gonna end like 2 did, where Woody gets the toys, like he gets Jessie and Bullseye and a few others from Toy Story 2. They go into Andy's room, so I was thinking he was gonna, like, him, Bo Peep, Duke, Ducky, and Bunny are gonna wind up in the RV, and then Bunny's gonna be like, "Oh, sweet, my dad bought me new toys. Cool."
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go that route.
But at the same time, because that was the ending I saw.
It's just more traditional.
Yeah, it's a traditional, like, I could see that 5 miles away. This one where Woody's like, "No, I'm gonna stay with Bo. I'm gonna be a lost toy. I'm gonna help other toys find homes." Like,
man,
what they
that
do
stuff
at the
was
carnival.
so good, man.
And the parallel of him holding his hands and him realizing that this is like when I said goodbye to you last time.
And he also realizes that Bonnie doesn't play with him that much anymore, so she is not gonna
doesn't play with him at all.
He's purposeless.
Yeah, so he's like, so that ending I like a little bit more. And yes, it does bug me out that Buzz and Woody aren't gonna be together anymore, but at the same time, one of my biggest shockers when I saw Toy Story 3 was Bo Peep was gone, and now Woody is back with Bo.
Nothing betrayed me more
than that.
Than when Bo Peep wasn't in Toy Story 3.
Yeah. So
I had speaking of Sparks having like a visceral reaction almost to the ending of this film. Like I had a strange reaction to Toy Story 3 when Bo Peep was not there anymore. Like, I'm sorry, excuse me, what did you say? Where is Bo Peep? I'm sorry.
That's surprising.
Like I had a reaction to Bo Peep no longer being in Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I mean, I had a reaction, but I don't think it was that strong.
No, I don't know. Again, like
I get it. I get it.
I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason,
Well, because
that happened.
Part of my thing is I feel like other characters are sacrificed in order to build up the Woody and Bo Peep thing in this film, which I think the story needs, and it works well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that would have been as necessary if Bo Peep were kind of more of a character in Toy Story 1 and 2, which I can give you Toy Story 1, but Toy Story 2, she's barely in it. She's in the beginning
she's
and the end.
she's just like Woody's girlfriend who's like, oh, please come
And that
home
makes it
soon,
so by
Woody.
the time that I'm done with Toy Story 3, I'm less invested with that relationship than I am with Jesse and Buzz.
Yeah.
So
no, I think what I carried over was the goodwill from Toy Story 1, 2, 3. Like from Toy Story 3, I was just kind of like remembering the relation to Toy Story 1, and I was hoping to see more of that, but not knowing that you have to live in a world where you know that Buzz and Woody are no longer together. I had to live in a world after Toy Story 3 that Bo and Woody never saw each other again.
Right.
So having this film kind of retroactively helped my reaction to Toy Story 3 almost. If that makes sense?
And that's, I think, the core of where my thing comes from, is that, to me, the relationship in Toy Story, if you say, what's the relationship with Toy Story? Buzz and Woody.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a relationship that gets broken at the end of this. So that's why that devastates me more, because I didn't need Bo Peep and Woody together forever in my imagination for it to be okay.
Yeah.
I did need Buzz and Woody to be together, apparently.
Yeah. And again, like, my own personal, like, take on it, like, I completely respect and I like that. Again, it is an emotional reaction. Like, a movie does this to you, and you don't like what they did because, like, I like that, and like, I think that's really powerful. Whether you like it or like whether you think it's good or not. I really like that Woody was purposeless, and the sad thing had to happen for him to find purpose and to get happy. Because it's always darkest just before the dawn. So like, I would. It sucks that they're not going to be together. But if he's going to be unhappy hanging out with Buzz at Bonnie, like, that's not who. That's what I mean. Like, he's happier somewhere else.
Eventually, Bonnie would have just gotten over.
It would have thrown him away.
Yeah.
And like,
so now with
sad.
Woody going to help out,
they're all leaving on their own terms. So everyone's happy on their own terms. Like, Woody's not miserable hanging out with Bonnie. There's going to be another sequel that could do something different. Like, I'm perfectly happy with where everyone's journey.
And also I think the credit scenes help too.
Yeah.
Like with them at the
getting toys to kids and like Bill Hader's just hanging out. Like, I thought that was really charming.
That was Bill Hader.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
But I love I love where Ducky Bunny are talking and then they jump at him. I'm like, okay, they
turn the kaiju monsters.
But then they turn the kaiju monsters and they're like,
do you have laser eyes?
Whoa.
Do you have laser eyes?
And then Keanu Reeves getting
whoa.
That was so great.
So I want to ask, before we get into final thoughts.
Oh, wait, the knife girl?
Well, hold on. I want to be clear. It is not that I think it isn't good, or that I don't like it.
Yeah,
no. But I want to be clear. Like, there is a separation of like me enjoying this film and knowing that it's a good film and all that, and a separation of like the way it makes me feel after the film's over.
Yeah, I felt you were very clear.
And without diving into like a therapy session, there is something specific in the separation of longtime friends not getting its justice to me, that or the way that it feels passed over, that pinpoints something that I obviously need to address in my life.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have felt the same way about Steve and Bucky, which is why there are petitions to rewrite the end of Endgame.
So I did bring that up, that I realized they're kind of the same thing, and I'm like, I get it, and it is kind of similar, but this affected me more.
Yeah, no, I get that. So before we get into final thoughts, I do want to ask, do we want another Toy Story film?
No. To be fair, I didn't want another one after 3. But
Same here. I was fine with the when I heard about the shorts, I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, if they say they're doing another, then yes. I don't think that they'll make another and not make it good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like people have already thought that about 3 and then 4 and been wrong.
Yeah.
So if they say, hey, we actually had a really good idea, we want to make a Toy Story 5 because they swore they were never going to make another after Toy Story 3, and then they're like, we had a really good idea, I'm not going to say no.
I will say Toy Story is like one of the only franchises where I'm like, I guess I'll take a 5 because all 4 have been good.
Yeah.
No other franchise have done
I would
that.
say, I mean, personally, I'm like, no, we're fine. Obviously, it's gonna live forever. But if Pixar comes up, it's like, hey, we got a really good idea. Like what you said, Sparks. If they say we got something good for this, I'm like, all right, I trust you. And Pixar is that one studio where if they have a good idea, I trust them full wholeheartedly.
A lot of people have been saying, I'm on this one page, and they talk about how Toy Story 4 was only made for money. But I think that's...
Everything is made for money.
Yeah, but I think that's too cynical. I think that goes to a sense of cynicism that would destroy my my life. But the idea that, yes, I'm not naive to think that that not all films are made for money. I get it. All films are made for money. However, I don't think Pixar has ever made a film specifically because it was going to make them money. I do feel like every single film that Pixar has made has been creatively driven. And the money has been a benefit.
They've been very strongly about, like,
yeah.
we don't make it unless we feel like we should.
Yeah, that's their whole thing.
That's why Newt no longer
Even
exists.
Cars 2. Even Cars 2.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
that movie
Cars
might not
2
be good, but it still looks awesome.
Well,
Well, it's
Cars
cool
2
spice shit.
Well, also Cars 2 was John Lasseter's pet. He loves that Cars thing. That was his
that
whole.
was his whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, so final thoughts, and then we'll rate it. So Ryan, you go first.
Yeah, man. Again, like I think this movie's dope. 4 solid entries. Like I don't think any other franchise has stayed this consistent for over 20, almost 25 years now. Wow. I would give this. Yeah, I'd give it a 9. I think there are some negatives, but like I think the positives are just so powerful and so strong that I'd give it a 9.
Ben?
Oh, yeah. As a series that I've been with since kindergarten, and when I saw the last Toy Story 3, I was like, holy crap, I'm growing up with Andy.
We've literally grown up.
I
watching
know,
these movies.
it's
amazing.
so weird. But this movie, when I got out of it, I was still like, man, this is a really good movie. I have some hangups. It's not a 10, but it's definitely a 9. It is that good.
Sparks?
Yeah, I give it a 9.
Yeah, I think I agree with all of you guys as far as criticisms and love. 9 for me
Trash.
as well.
Trash.
Trash?
The Knife is voiced by Melissa Villaseñor, and I don't think you get somebody like her to do just 2 lines, so I imagine The Knife is a focal point of the Disney Plus series.
What's the knife?
The knife
The
that
knife at the
talks
end.
to him at the end.
Oh, the knife.
Yeah.
Trash. Like how am I
Yeah,
alive?
How Am I Alive? That's
I
Melissa
don't
Villaseñor from Saturday Night Live.
How did I can answer any questions you want. How am I alive? I don't know.
Her name is Karen Beverly in the credits.
Cute.
Also, the very, very end you need to stay to,
Oh
because if you do,
God.
you get that payoff on that high
Of
five.
the high
Yeah,
five.
you do.
Well,
Joke.
because it's funny because you were telling me because
That's why I said you gotta stay
my
all
whole
the way.
group, my group was like, "Hey, we should go. It's over." I'm like, "No, we have to stay till the end." It's like, but then we saw the Disney castle. Like, no, there's nothing. Like, there's something. Let's just watch the whole thing. Then Duke rolls up, and then the second the high five, everyone's like, "Oh yay, the high five!"
Everyone but like one other person left the theater.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
me and that dude were like, yeah.
He
It was
got his
great.
high five.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our book club.
Ooh. Hey, welcome to the Fake Nerd Comic Shop.
Yeah, hi. Do you have any books?
Can you be a little more specific?
Anything readable?
All right, then time now for our book club. Ryan, take us away.
Take me away.
Take me away.
My name's Ryan Oleopoulos, and I like comic books. I picked a book called 7 to Eternity. It's by Rick Remender and Jerome Pena, with colors by Matt Hollinsworth. This is a Image independent book, and it's fantastic. It's all about crazy fantasy shit. It's about fathers and sons and monarchs and whispers and magical powers. I love
And
this
he's
book.
staring at me the whole time you say this shit with the underlying tone.
I know this is a good book because like I only read good books. I'm just kidding. But I think you specifically were gonna like this because like man, this is like some really good fantasy shit. Like
guess
really
what?
good world building. Like it feeds you just enough to keep you going in every issue.
And Ryan, guess what?
Yeah,
You were fucking right.
Yeah, girl, I know. Don't tell me what you guys think about 7 to
Is that
Eternity.
our one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Sparks, what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. Ryan and I were talking about it a bit earlier today, and I feel like you hit it on the head with like, oh, it's a Western anime, and I could really see that in my head. And
Yeah.
that's very much what it is. I really enjoyed it.
Not
Yeah.
Western as in like cowboys, Western as in like Western society, like
Yeah, yeah.
America.
I thought it was really interesting how it feels more like
Though a little bit of cowboy
yeah,
Western.
well, like, that's
Yeah,
what,
no, yeah.
that's what I was getting to just now. The idea that a lot of fantasy tends to be sword and sandals.
Mhm.
And that's the idea that we kind of step in like medieval fantasy, but this one kind of takes the idea of fantasy but Wild West.
Yeah.
And I think that works. These 4 issues didn't really do a whole lot for me,
Wow, really?
but I do acknowledge that the whole series would probably be something worth reading. Like it just felt like, while good, mostly set up to the next volume. And obviously I am interested in reading that next volume. Like I didn't dislike what I read. I just felt like it was, being the volume 1, it just felt like this was more set up.
Sure.
The art is awesome.
The art is, the art's incredible. Like I was blown away by every page of this book.
I know you guys. I read a lot of my comics on my television, so the splash pages in this book are truly insane. Some of the most beautiful, crazy splash pages of giant creatures, giant cities.
When he's looking at the sun with the sunset and the city with the giant monster.
Oh, yeah,
it
dude.
looked really good.
That's like one of the first images ever released for what the book was going to look like,
Yeah.
and everyone like lost their minds.
Yeah, I love the Mud King's son when he first
Piper?
appears and takes
Yeah.
out Adam's dad.
Man, that's so rough.
Yeah, I thought that was.
He's like drowns in sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that the first issue was really effective, setting the tone of the series.
Yeah, I love the idea of never compromising. It's the thing from Watchmen I love. Never compromise, not even in the face of Armageddon. Zebediah Osiris, he refused the help or the whisper of the Mud King, who is this all powerful wizard man.
Refused his offer.
He refused his offer.
They were both Mozaks,
Mozaks,
They're
which are
both
basically Jedi. Whatever, they're magical priests. It's still early in this volume.
What I liked about the Mud King or the Whisper King,
The God of Whispers.
the God of Whispers, is that he doesn't have an army. He just kind of manipulates people.
Yeah, he's
his
a
whispers.
Palpatine. Like he knows how to persuade people, and being the
so
God
many,
of Whispers.
So many people are like, you don't even know you have a king,
Yeah,
and you don't even know that he's your king.
yeah, that's some good shit. Yeah, so like the Piper, who is the son of the Mud King, comes to the Osiris clan. He's like, "Yo, you guys need to hear my dad's offer." And the Osiris.
That's how he gets you. You hear his offer.
Yep.
You're under his control.
Yeah.
And his offer is in a red text instead
Yes.
of a black text.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting.
Like basically like almost like mind control. And the Osiris clan is like, we're not going to do this. And Zebediah is like, no, I've always said no. I ran from the city to.
He was cast out.
Yeah, because for a whole, we don't have to get super into it, but yeah, they're cast out and they're living on their own. And the Mud King always wants their ear. Because like they're a powerful family, right? And Zeb gets killed because he refuses the word, but his son Adam is like, I'll check him out. I'll see what the Mud King's about. Like it might save my clan. You never know. And the whole first issue is like maybe being strong and being like like being for your family isn't the best thing for your family. Maybe sometimes hearing the word of the bad guy is what you should do. That's not what he does, thank the Lord, because that'd be a completely different book. But that second issue is awesome and just a long conversation. And then the freaking like the Suicide Squad of the Mosaic world show up, and you got Patchwork, and you got a kaiju drawbridge.
I wanted to talk
Oh my
about,
God.
I wanted to talk about Patchwork. I love Drawbridge. I thought his design was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Patchwork though is really interesting to me because her whole backstory is basically what's happening in America.
Yeah.
The whole idea of
the xenophobia,
the rise of xenophobia, and the whole idea that we're trying that
Assimilation.
it started.
like another kingdom came like the God of Whispers was like, hey, we can help you, and then they're like, no, we got our own stuff, and we're fine, we don't need your help. But then they got plague, they got locusts, they got a whole bunch of stuff, and the rich dudes were like, yo, these are war refugees from other kingdoms or other areas of the continent of Zal, the world called Zal.
Yeah.
They're the source of all our problems, and it's like no, it's not. But that people in
but it
desperate times,
destroyed their whole economy,
in
their whole
desperate
system.
in desperate times, people do desperate things. So then their society crumbles, and eventually the God of Whispers takes in anyway. So
There's a guy named Saint Goblin because he's the last of his kind.
Yeah.
'Cause the God of Whispers wiped out all his people.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just a goblin, so like I'll just go by that name because who else is going to be a goblin, right?
Right,
call
right.
him and his real name is Purdue.
Yeah. Patchwork has the craziest origin ever.
Yeah.
Because her family was slaughtered in front of her. She was then murdered and thrown on top of the bodies of her family. And then her veins and her organs like left her body and conjoined with her dead body, her
That
dead
was her power.
family.
That was her Mosaic gift.
Yeah, so as she's dying, that's when her like X-Men ability came latent, and she like patchworked her body with her family. So she's a Frankenstein monster of her entire family. And that's the craziest shit I've ever heard, you guys.
I was sad to see her die at the end of issue 4.
It's she's super cool, and like that's what Rick Remender does. He introduces the characters, then he kills them. What you do?
I think this is my favorite Rick Remender book.
Yeah?
I don't know if it's because I don't.
It checks all your boxes.
Well, it doesn't just check all my boxes, but Rick Remender, I know I've said this before, I do enjoy him as a writer. It's just that Rick Remender, a lot of his books, be it Black Science or Deadly Class, he is very, like, F-you, cynical, like...
Checking my boxes, baby.
Checking your boxes, yeah. Whereas in this one, this is... don't get me wrong, all that stuff is fine and good. It's just not necessarily my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's not what I like to gravitate towards. This one, Seven to Eternity, is... yes, it's a fantasy stuff, so that's a big box for mine, but it's also kind of like a Fellowship of the Ring, where these
There's
guys,
definitely a journey.
yeah, it's a journey, and it's not like, yes, I mean, yeah, there is. I did see the whole disenvelope thing. I was like, it's kind of like America today. But at the same time, it's not like in your face anarchy down with the system. It's like we have a mission. We have a would-be king who is doing horrible shit to the entire world. We need this dude to be stopped, but we can't kill him
If you kill him, you
because
kill
if we do,
everyone who's
half
seen
the
it.
world is dead.
Yeah.
So
If-
we
if
can't do that.
If you kill him, you kill everyone who's heard his offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's linked to all of them. That's how he can hear like the whispers.
Of the 3 Remender books I've read, this, Deadly Class, and Black Science, like the ones that I've read, not the ones I've dabbled in, like Low or something like that. This one might actually be my least favorite. Now, 3, the third down on the list of 3 is not that.
I know.
Not that big
Oh
of a
no,
deal.
I'm not judging you at all,
Black
Brad.
Science, though, for me, Black Science is incredible.
Oh.
There is a cynicism to Remender that I don't like. I'm not crazy about cynicism in general in my stories because I am such a cynical person, and I don't want to be reminded of that aspect of myself. But Black Science, there is an underlying of hope. Of hope that there is a better life at the end of this. Whether or not it gets there or not, it just it helps drive the story for me. The Class didn't read enough of it to know more about this next series, and this one kind of falls in the same vein where I haven't read the whole thing, so I don't know where the ending is, where it goes. So I'm interested in reading the rest. Like I said, there's a lot of setup here.
I actually overachieved because I didn't normally. Sometimes when we have like books like this where I don't know how much is in a volume, I look it up and
Traditionally, there's like 5 or 6 in it.
So I'm
this one's on the low end, 4.
yeah, but I read 6. I thought I was like, it's probably just 6. And when we got out of the movie today, Ryan, I was like, hey, it was 6 issues, right? And you're like, no, it's 4.
And again, it is weird because when it came out in single issues, the first 3 issues are the actual first arc because that's when they capture the Mud King and then go on the journey.
Yeah.
So it's super weird that the first volume is 4 issues because that last issue, it's kind of like starting another arc, but it's because I guess they didn't want to sell a 3-issue trade.
Yeah, I almost kind of wish they had though because I feel like that's a much better.
I almost said
That's not weird.
I almost wanted us to read 2 volumes, but I knew you guys might not do that, so that's why I only picked 1 volume.
Because I read once I got to issue 6 though, right? Because I assume you read issue 6.
Yeah.
Because once I got to issue 6, I felt that was a good end to a trade, and then the rest of the story. I don't want to spoil it for these 2.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like a really good twist in the story and makes
It
me
is.
want to continue reading
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But I was thoroughly like, I want to see what happens. Because like we all know that Adam is dying, and even the scenes where
And that's always real quick, man. That's always on his brain because that's the offer that the Mud King gave him. Is like you're
can
trying to
hear
save
it.
your family, but you're dying, so you don't even get to be with them if you die.
Yeah. Right.
I will save you if you hear my offer.
Uh-huh.
That's rough. That's real rough.
yeah, and then because the whole time was like, oh, I heard no offer. I'm like, but that was his offer though. You heard an offer.
And everyone's like, "Oh, is he under the influence?" Like,
Yeah, but apparently he's not. But he kind of is.
That's like
Yeah, that's
Well, but that's the thing about that's what I understood to be like the whisper. Like it's like Inception. You plant an idea in someone's head, they keep thinking about it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple lines that I really like. When Piper is talking to Zebediah, the Piper's like, "There's still time to hear his offer," and Zeb goes, "I'm no slave," and Piper laughs, going, "You are all slaves."
Yeah.
And that's like some real just cut to the core.
Piper is some shit.
Yeah, and then when it's revealed that like my son is Piper. Oh, how I love the way he plays his flute. Like, oh shit, you guys are related. Of course, you guys are related. It's great.
But what's the girl who's the butterfly wings, the pink skinned one?
Zidala, like the one who's evil, right?
The one who kissed him on the cheek when he was a kid.
Yeah, Zidalia. I think,
yeah. Man, I really like her.
Yeah, even though she's horrible.
Well, at first she's horrible, but then
Yeah.
later on it's like, okay, you're not that sucky.
Here's a Zeb talking to a young Adam. He cursed our name, but we still got our honor. Nothing in the physical world can kill you, Adam. But when you betray your heart, everything crumbles.
Right.
That's the kind. That's all the Rick Remender's writing is like really true to your heart. Like be who you are, be true to yourself. Like that's
Also, I like
some good shit.
Also, I love when Adam is walking in. There's that one dude who's fighting. He's like, "Oh, look, the betrayer, the blood betrayer in his blood, blah blah blah."
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, "Why don't you fight this monster?" He's like, "Not my war,
Not my war.
not my
Exactly.
problem.
Yeah.
You can't."
Is that,
and
is
then
that
he's
why
like,
you abandoned us? And I'm like, I didn't leave you. You cast us out.
Yeah.
And I like that it's revealed later that like he'd stained their name by like blaming all his atrocities on their family. That's really awesome. I really like the Mud King. I think he's
He's a
super great as
fascinating
a villain.
villain.
He's
Yeah.
very charming and suave. I really like him. I told you that the whole time I was reading it, I could hear the voice of Kevin Michael Richardson for him, who was the voice of Gantu in Lilo and Stitch, or
Yeah, he's got, like, a
Trigon
deep-
in Teen and Titans.
Yeah.
Kilowog in the Green Lantern animated series.
Yeah. I can totally see that.
So somebody says, this is another good quote I like. No need to compare scars. Nobody's suffering can be understood by anybody else. Garland's did a number on all of us. Because I think that's important for
Yeah,
them.
I like
that's-
that. I like that.
That
line a
was
lot.
in the scene where Patchwork reveals her story because
She's like, you want to stop comparing dick
Adam,
sizes?
Adam was like, "Oh man, you don't know what he did to me," and she's like, "Bitch,
Bitch, let me
sit the
tell you
hell
my
down."
origin story.
Yeah,
Real quick, when somebody's talking about like all the members of the team, there's like she who cheats the well to command tomes in Zal, he who walks in my realm as means of travel, she who steals the swell meats of others, and the last of thieves, masters of shadows and disguises. That's how one of these bad guys describes our heroes, and I'm like, that's all like poetic and weird. And I love it.
Also, I love the name for the bullets. They're called nails.
That's so cool, dude. Like, and he puts his brother's like spirit into the gun,
Like
into
his
the
blood.
bullet.
His blood.
That's some cool shit, man.
Yeah,
That's some,
I like that. I like that aspect a lot.
Yeah, man.
Sparks, you've been quiet a little bit.
I literally just talked about the Mud King.
Yeah, he did.
Well, you did.
Yeah.
I had this queued up for like an hour now.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Okay. Well, I think this book's really great.
This book is really great.
I might do more. I might, because it's only up to 13 issues, so it's not that much more to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably start picking this up in trades when I see them in conventions because I really dig this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like it. I want to read the rest of it.
Yeah, and the thing that it's like I love writing. I love words. Like
Yeah.
the thing I love about Watchmen is there's just pages of newspaper articles, right?
Yeah.
Almost every issue starts with just a journal entry or just an entire page of dialogue.
Normally when I
love
see that, I kind of go, but while I was reading, I was like, no, I want to find out what's
'Cause
in
it's-
I want to know what's in Adam's head.
Yeah, exactly. I like to bless you. Bless you.
Puppy sneezing, if you can hear
One
that.
more.
There
One more.
she goes.
One more. Hold on. I'm looking at her. She's so cute. Come on, go get it out. Yeah. All right. That's 7 to eternity. More like 7 sneezes to eternity. Am I right, Doug? Okay, Belle. All right, cool. Okay, I think that's a great book. Whose book club's next?
It's mine. I don't know what it is yet, so we'll get to it later.
It's all good.
I'll post it later. All right, so next week we're going to hopefully do a discussion on the Conjuring universe,
Mhm.
the probably third most successful cinematic universe out there right now.
Ooh.
I would say in terms of profit, it might be number 1 because those movies are all made for like a quarter, and they all make hundreds of millions of dollars.
And profit margins, I think the MCU does.
Still?
actually,
Okay,
does
yeah.
beat
Yeah,
It also has,
MCU
like-
makes so much money.
That's true, but I was talking about like those movies cost $300
No,
million.
I know,
to
but
make.
I know MCU puts like the cost in, but they
Yeah.
make more than those movies.
No,
too.
yeah.
Hey, Ryan,
What
Sparks, remember one during our E3 video when I said my body is ready?
Yeah.
My body is not ready.
I'm so excited
Oh,
for you.
yeah.
I am
I'm
not
so excited.
I am not excited for this.
Dude.
No, just doing like the thought through on that. I was like, no, because like every spin-off movie of the Marvel films, like what would be called a spin-off movie, because it's not, they're all like important,
Yeah.
but they all like land
Yeah.
with like large amounts of money. And the spin-off films for The Conjuring, they don't land.
That's true, yeah.
If they did land as hard as like Conjuring and Conjuring 2, I might agree.
Yeah. That's true.
And then there's DC, which makes a lot of money even when they were bad movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the third one you were thinking of.
That's the second one.
Oh, I was thinking of Fast and the Furious.
Oh, I don't consider that a shared universe.
It will be now.
Oh, there's.
Whoa!
You know how I forget that movie's coming out?
Shit, I'm so excited.
I saw a
what-
gif of a slow motion punch to Jason Statham's face, and I was like,
we,
yeah, baby.
We went to see Men in Black with Megan and her sister saw the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw for the first time, and she's like, that looked awesome. And I'm like, you need to watch all the Fast and Furious movies. And
Yeah.
she's like, I do. And I'm like, yeah, you need to start at the bottom and work your way up. That's how it goes.
Yeah, you got to earn your spot. Touch Hobbs and Shaw.
So the Conjuring franchise.
Heck yeah.
And then we got some stuff on YouTube.
We
Yeah,
do have
every
we have
day,
so
baby.
much
All
stuff
stuff
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube.
All the time.
We have the Ken Knapsack interview is up as a video file. We have our Fake Nerd Anniversary, which we actually recorded video of,
Hell
and it's
yeah.
very funny. There are some blooper things at the end. Sometimes I do that. You should stay to the end if I record it on camera.
Oh, I had no idea.
Oh
he
yeah,
does.
no, you should stay through the end.
Especially the E3 one.
Yes, our E3 videos there.
Some of the fake nerd watches I don't watch all the way because I don't want to get spoiled.
I would
that's
want you to,
totally fair,
yeah.
and I wouldn't want you to
No,
either.
yeah.
But definitely this last Fake Nerd Watch Swamp Thing, some stuff went at the very end after that went to black. Ryan was being goofy.
When is he not?
I just black out during those recordings, man. I don't know.
We're all caught up on our audio episodes until this one.
Heck yeah.
Going up on video. This one will go up as soon as I can get it up, and we'll get Swamp Thing up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Of course,
Very
Basement Arcade.
And more Basement Arcade.
Should we
Always.
announce our next game for Basement Arcade since we're almost done with
No, not yet.
You're
okay.
almost done playing it, but we're
Yeah.
not done. We're not almost done uploading.
True,
it.
true,
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
All right, and so then we've got a couple of guests coming up.
Hell yeah.
Mike Patola.
Mike.
Mike. We're looking at him in July. We're just looking.
We're just
going
to be watching him.
Yeah.
He'll be here. You won't hear him,
He's just
but he'll be in the room.
We're
Yeah.
just gonna be
Posing.
we're gonna be staring at him.
You may occasionally
and
hear.
actually. Actually, thanks to
He's fine,
Sparks.
don't worry.
Huh?
Thanks to Sparks, we actually may have him for 2 episodes that
You're-
same day.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
We'll talk about that.
the Key Thief, our friend Jen.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen's coming back.
We got a confirmation that she's coming back in August
Yay!
Cool. For a topic or just to have her?
for a topic,
Sweet.
a specific topic that has to do with the Lion King.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
she wanted
man.
she was
Oh,
talking to
yeah.
me about it, and I was like, "Do you want to come out and talk about this?" And she's like, "Hell yeah!" So I
Hell
was
yeah.
like, "Cool."
Oh.
Also, we've commissioned something very special from her.
Ooh,
So you will see.
very nice.
Um,
I know, it's a surprise
I
to
know
me.
that we're saying this to the audience, and I'm like, I don't know what we're talking about.
and we teased it in the beginning, Downright Nerdy. We have them coming down to Los Angeles.
Yes, in December.
a long time from now.
In December,
Yeah.
a long ways away, but I'm sure you'll see us just because we're excited, teasing it up across each other's Instagrams.
Yeah.
As Michael Carls has already started, and we did in our annual, we are having our shows collide for a Star Wars discussion.
Heck yeah, baby.
Yeah.
And,
So when is our meeting to take him down now?
December? When is our meeting?
When's our meeting
like
to plan?
Yeah, when is the meeting for the 4 of us?
When,
to
when we're done with the record button, baby.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
So we can take him down.
You'll
You'll edit this out, right?
We could take them down right.
Nerdy.
I asked them for their logo, so we're gonna mock something up. Maybe make some promotional stuff. for it.
It's so far away. We're definitely going to promo
Yeah.
that up.
Yeah. So it should be fun. Some exciting things in the pipe works as far as our YouTubes and even for this show. There's a lot of cool things we teased up in our annual that you guys should be looking forward to
Oh,
in
yes.
this space. As you guys know, we are a Funko affiliate. Click the link in our description and use promo code SHOP10 for 10% off your purchase. That's pretty cool that Funko lets us do that,
Yeah.
especially because it probably makes them no money.
Yeah.
They're doing just fine.
They're
They
fine.
are.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Funko every day comes out with some cool stuff.
Mhm.
Some of their San Diego Comic-Con, they have the San Diego Comic-Con mascot as a pop now.
Yeah.
What
What the hell? I want it.
The Batman with a Comic-Con bag.
I want that.
Yeah, I want that
Even
too.
when they had their E3 pops, I'm just staring at them like that lion Sora. I'm like, you sons of bitches.
I'm so happy I have that Porunga pop.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I got back into Dragon Ball Z in time to get that Porunga pop.
That's the stuff, baby.
Yeah. We have a Patreon. We have a TeePublic. One tier on Patreon. You can check that one out. It's $5 if you like to keep the lights on. I actually think I call it "Help Keep the Lights On" tier.
Huh.
The lights are currently on, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. So if you guys want to,
But it's bleeding us dry. It's bleeding us dry.
if you guys want to support us in a way that's not just listening, please check out our Patreon. The link is in the description, and you can support the show, and you get some cool stuff with it that I'm constantly adding to. I'm constantly adding things to get from this Patreon. TeePublic, if you'd like to support us, we got some cool stuff. Mostly designed by all designed by Mike Patola.
Yeah, boy.
All of our logos, and hopefully some more things coming up there soon.
Yes.
Thank you to everyone who listens. We greatly appreciate it,
Thank
as
you.
always. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, a longtime collaborator. You can find him on Instagram on Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. He helps us do our theme music, which, spoiler alert, I may have commissioned a new theme tune from him.
Man,
Ooh.
what is all this stuff you're doing without telling us, man?
I'm telling you now.
That's not the same.
It's exciting. Just get, sometimes you gotta switch
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Change,
And actually, Marty suggested to you a little while ago, Marty, who was on our Aladdin
yes.
special, suggested to you a little while ago that we get some new segment intros.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I've been fighting that fight with you for a while.
I finally asked him.
Oh, nice.
So we'll hopefully get some things. And his show, Suburban Proctologist, will be... we talked a little bit about it's coming back. So it should be back soon, hopefully.
The return.
Yeah, get that show back up on there. It's a good show.
25 years later.
But until then, you can support him. His show, Suburban Proctologist, at facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official and Instagram at SubPodcast. Got a new logo up there. It looks really cool. Speaking of logos, thank you to Mike Patola, who we talked about up top, for our logos for both Miscellaneous and Fake Nerd. Miscellaneous, by the way, coming back soon, hopefully. And you can find him at Mike Matola on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast. FakeNerdGuys@gmail.com. I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ryan?
Hey, I'm at DJ Tony Snark at everything.
Ben?
BenMac27 at... Wow, I brain fart. BenMac27 on Instagram and Twitter.
Sparkly Sparkers.
I'm Sparks Witty. You can find me at Sparks Witty on Instagram, SPARKZ Witty, and nowhere else.
Nowhere. Don't even try.
Don't even try.
Don't even look.
Don't even look.
Don't look under that rock.
Although maybe I might go to some game consoles in the future. We'll see.
Oh.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, rate and review wherever you get us.
YouTube!
And YouTube. Link in the description for YouTube. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Until next week, guys.
To infinity and beyond.
Are a toy!
Stay fake.
Thank you.